It's the mega episode of Spring Finals Hotline League 2020. That's right. We were supposed to do this at some sick-ass venue in Frisco, Texas, and yet we couldn't. So now we're doing a very, very stupid version of it. No, it's going to be a great version.
It's the best I don't want to say stupid.
Yeah, it's the best version. It's going to be rife with technical difficulties as we try to get tons of different people in on the show. I can't wait to see how this goes. We're first off, I want to shout out Alienware because they're going to be giving away something to literally thousands of you later on in the show. I haven't told Mark about this, but it's kind of cool.
Do I get one?
Alienware did something cool. What?
Am I going to get one? You said they're giving away
if
something.
If you want,
yes. I'll probably want one.
Yes. Well, Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I did the Academy Analyst desk just a couple hours ago, so I'm up. I'm with it. I still got some product in my hair.
Yeah.
That,
oh wow.
It's kind of
yes.
So I can't.
Why wear the hat if you are?
What's that?
If your hair is done, why wear the hat?
No, the hair. The problem is my hair's too long, so like the product will slip out slowly, and then it's just worse.
Is that what product does? I don't think it just like slips out of your hair. I use product sometimes, and it doesn't just start.
As the oil in my hair increases, it's less hold, less firm.
You should maybe get that looked at. And stop doing that with your hands, please. It's making me uncomfortable. I was supposed to predict what you're wearing, and it looks like you're wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. Is that what you're wearing?
Is that it? Is that all it is? It's pineapple.
Are you wearing? I hope you're wearing shorts or pants.
Well, you're wrong. I'm not wearing shorts or pants. I'm wearing a men's romper.
Oh, nice. That's fantastic. When did you get that?
My brother got this for me for Christmas.
Please don't fall.
Whoa, I'm surfing.
I'm really nervous right now. Okay, please sit down, Mark. I just feel like the chances of something hilariously bad happening or like a TOS incident are very likely.
Underwear, dude. Calm down.
Anyway, how you been?
Losing my mind, clearly. If you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Played some Valorant, 2 games this afternoon between shows. And I got a fucking lever on the enemy team, and then someone left on my team after we were up like 10-2. So my inability to play Valorant without people leaving continues.
I logged on Valorant today, and I was going to play a single game before, because I did an interview. I've done some Valorant interviews, actually, with some of the folks over at Riot. Those will be going up early next week. And I was just going to play a single game, because I've lowered my DPI recently, and I'm hoping that it'll make me not suck as much as I do. And Mark Merrill invited me.
Office?
Yes, Kelby gave me a tutorial. Mark Merrill invited me to a game with him and Peter, and I was really nervous because I suck so bad. And the first 5 or 6 rounds, Mark didn't get a single kill, and I got like 3, and I was like, okay, thank God, I don't feel as bad. Anyway,
how'd the rest of the game go?
Fed my ass off for the rest of the game. They all had like twice as many kills as me. Peter hard carried us. It was a disaster. Anywho, that's enough for my Valorant thing. It's been an interesting week, Mark.
What was interesting this week for you? I don't think anything interesting happened. I also would have seen it on Reddit. I mean,
some news broke that I think shook the foundation of our community, and that is the Reddit mod censorship of me. I think. Did you know that in the thread? So obviously, I'm talking about the Doublelift video or whatever. In the thread that the .esports article went up in, if people started mentioning my name, they deleted it.
Yep. There's one comment that's deleted with hundreds of comments underneath it. It has gold, it has silver attached to it, all this stuff. And that comment wasn't even bad. All that comment said was this story was broken by Travis Gafford. And that's all it took for it to get deleted.
There is no war in Bossing Say. All right, that's all I'm going to say, Mark. It's a classic reference, by the way, for those who get it. Anywho, no, I mean, so obviously the Doublelift news broke. Thank you for helping me do that video, talking about that. A lot of speculation since then. I think ESPN did a follow-up and some other folks did. And I think it's been pretty crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think I mentioned in that video that free agency, or not free agency, but the trade window is technically not open, I think, until next week, I want to say.
Yeah, you can't do stuff.
So you can't do anything yet. So I don't think we will see whatever's going to happen there. I don't think we're going to see it officially happen for quite some time.
I don't know.
And by quite some time, I mean at least for several days.
There's some of these things, especially in traditional sports, where like the writing's on the wall. You know what's going to happen. Technically, no one's allowed to talk to each other until midnight of such and such day, and then somehow at 12:01, some fucking deal comes through the wires right away. So like,
I mean, I'm sure. I'm not saying that people aren't negotiating. Like, they are definitely negotiating.
Nothing will officially happen, at least for
right.
me.
Yeah, I don't think a team can officially announce like we've signed him until that day, which I want to say is the 26th, but I'm not sure. Anyway, you would think this is why I don't deserve to be on. I'm not a credible news source because I don't actually know these things.
Did you know that you are actually a credible news source? It was actually listed that you are
on the wiki. Yes, yeah. I did see that as well. Azael says they're breaking the rules. Arrest the teams. I did try to get Commissioner Greeley on. Unfortunately, I think he was busy, maybe doing some family stuff. Very reasonable that he would be busy on a Friday night. But I did want to get him on the show, and I think it would have been fun to have him. How are you prepping for spring finals?
You're looking at it, dude.
Great. Well, for those that want to know what the hell is actually going on with this mega episode, so we have 7 guests that are going to come on the show today. We're going to try to rotate them every 15 minutes, which is going to be very technically difficult because I have this whole setup. So please bear with me as we do these kind of like awkward transitions of people onto Discord and Skype.
All these people?
Flowers says he can't get Skype to work, which I think is maybe a cop-out. But we won't have a camera for Flowers. But Azael, Phreak, Dash, Flowers, Jack, Tricia, and Nicole. So we've got 4 of our Riot broadcast friends.
How many people is that? I can't count.
7. And then so we have to start getting people in about 5 minutes. And I might try to pull Azael early. It looks like he's in the chat. And we need a little bit of downtime just in case calls run long.
Azael's a stickler, dude. Watch out.
Yeah. And so I think we will take some calls. Maybe we take 1 call per guest. And so if Mark, you want to explain how that works?
Yeah, if you've never seen the show before, this is a live call-in show, and so we have a Discord that we use to take your calls. I will spam Twitch chat with the Discord link. There we go. Go ahead and join up. When you get here, you're going to want to join Pleb Calls voice channel. You can mute yourself once you're in there, and then in the Pleb Topics text channel, you will go ahead and write what it is you want to talk about. Ideally, it's a take. But this is probably a decent question episode as well, given that we'll have a fair amount of experts on. But in general, we like to hear takes. You think EG actually will beat C9. You think, I don't know, you're crazy, whatever. If we like your take, we'll pull you from the Pleb Calls voice channel into the waiting room where you'll hang out until it's your turn. Then we'll do a quick voice check, audio check, make sure everything's working out before you pull you on air, and you'll be here talking with us.
Yeah. And I do want to apologize because we might have to cut people off.
Yes.
Because we're going to have, basically we have these narrow 15-minute windows to grab people so that the show doesn't run too long, and people have things they have to go do and all that stuff. So I might have to be a little bit more rude to some of our callers this time than we normally are. So apologies in advance if we have to cut you off, but please have a concise take or prediction or whatever for the thing. Also, I forgot to go get a beer from my fridge, so I need to figure out a way to do that.
I was going to say, if you want to take a 1-minute break, I also don't have any beverages near me.
Okay.
Even my water.
Well, we need to rotate because we can't just leave the show dead. You want to go first?
Really? You don't think that's a good idea?
I don't think that's. I don't think a minute of dead air.
I'm pulling some people, so why don't you
go
first?
But you have to keep these people company. I'll be right back.
Yeah, well, I'll stare at them blankly.
No. There's a podcast version of this.
I'm kidding.
They need audio.
Travis, I'm a professional. Come on, look at me. I know what I'm doing. Just some random ideas for takes, and totally not seeding any thoughts into your head. But obviously, we'd want to talk about the Doublelift rumor. If anyone wants to grab that one, predictions also make sense. I saw some stuff. We're going to have Tricia and we're going to have Jack on. So if someone has a specific question about FlyQuest and maybe what they did this split and what prep went into it to try and turn their amp up their brand or whatever. That kind of stuff can work. Also, not to mention, C9 Academy just won today. And so C9 is once again the best academy team. Rainover was the coach. So, I think there's probably some interesting stuff to talk about. Why is C9 Academy so constantly good? Jack might have some interesting answers for that.
All right. I've got my beer. And okay. So I'm happy. What's that? You're good? Okay, you go. This is as always a very professional show. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put Azael's info into. Oh, his camera fell. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, and his handle is at Right Azael. Loading up the overlay again. Everyone, please bear with us as we manage the show tonight. Oh, he left it on the cat cam. Great. Oh, all right. Really quickly, by the way, thank you to everyone who's been subbing. I was reading some of those off beforehand. We're trying to hit 1,200 subs. We're getting kind of close to it. Grumpy Conductor, thank you for the tier 1. Sunho124, Chris the Ghost, Red to CS1, and Bliss422, Andy3241, Kylo Zen, and Raimo Plays. If you are able to drink and interested in it, and it's legal for you, feel free to join us as we, normally we have a couple drinks on the show when we're traveling and doing live versions of this event. Kind of loosens us up a bit, and but just please drink responsibly. But feel free to join us at home as we enjoy a nice cold beverage while doing this. Chef Daddy 93 just gifted 5 subs, and Antivirus, thank you for the Prime, Mr. T Nelson as well. Okay, let's go ahead and grab. We've zoomed in on Mark's chest right now. That's the kind of production that you're going to get on this. I'm going to go ahead and add Azael to the call. Hopefully this works okay.
We're holding off on callers until we at least get a couple minutes with Azael, right?
Yeah. I think that's right. We bring him on. We see what his prediction is, how he's doing. I don't know. I assume you guys can give predictions and it won't be an issue.
No.
And then Azael, is he in the Discord? You see him anywhere in there? Azael, can you mute yourself on Skype and join the Discord? Okay. Azael is coming in hot, everybody. Podcast listeners, I'm sorry that you have to sit through this. But there's Azael. Okay. And Azael is he in the Discord?
On air.
Hello.
What's up?
Azael, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How's your Friday evening going?
It's pretty good. Jam was craving pho, so we ordered in some pho, had that, and ate too much, and now I feel really full.
Nice. So you're ready to party?
I'm jealous.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready, man.
Ashley, she was passed out after she got back from work. So I made freshly for myself, and she got up and ordered humble potato. And
Mark, can you mute yourself on Skype again?
I didn't unmute myself on Skype.
I muted him. Yeah, you were echoing like crazy. You can just right click him and mute him on Skype. That's what I did.
Okay.
What? It says I'm muted.
Yeah, you are now. Whatever happened. Anyway, you're not echoing anymore. Azael, how's life been in this new world that we've been in? How's been working on the broadcast, getting ready for finals, etc.? I mean, normally I would be trying to drag you onto this live show somewhere at a live event somewhere in Texas, but here we are.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's nice that LCS can run. I would have honestly been really sad if we weren't able to continue the league whatsoever. So I'm happy that we can do it. It definitely feels very different, right? It's sad that there's this crazy thing going on, that there's a global pandemic going on, and we aren't able to be in an arena right now. I was talking with Flowers about that today, because that's like what we would have already been flown somewhere. We would be kind of getting ready for the show and stuff. So it feels very different. I'm really excited for the games, but I'm sad that the players aren't going to get to play in a big stadium. And I'm sad that we don't get to, be in a live setting where we can see the fans and interact with the fans and stuff. But the production team is working super hard trying to put on a kick-ass show, and I think the games are going to be great. And the videos that they've put out have been super hype. If you guys haven't watched the kind of playoffs preview thing that came out with Dash voiceover. That was really sick. The Blabber MVP video was really, really sick. So yeah, I'm getting hyped, man. That stuff is getting me pumped up.
Archival footage. I was just thinking today about how important, like, I think everyone who has to edit footage or do anything for these types of things probably right now is just really hoping that whatever system they had for organizing files and keeping track of archival footage is like really good right now, because that's all. I mean, I'm like, every time I do an interview, I worry because I'm running out of images on the LCS Flickr account to keep everything going.
Yeah, man, that the LCS Flickr account is all that keeps my Instagram running, because I don't really like Instagram, and I basically don't really use it very much. So usually every week after broadcast, I'd just be like, oh, do they have a picture of me on there? I could post that on Instagram. Oh, did the video die?
Your camera froze. You just turn it off and back on again, and now you've got that nice blur effect in the background, so it looks great. Mark, do you want to grab our?
How do I turn that off?
There's just a setting in Skype. Don't worry about it. You can find it.
Wait. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's I forgot what I was talking about, to be honest.
Do you have a preference on what you want to talk about with a caller? I will 100% feed you a softball for whatever you want to talk about.
No, I don't care. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We can talk about something a bit more spicy. We could talk about whatever you guys are feeling.
Well, Mark, why don't you work on pulling our caller, and I'll ask Azael kind of what his predictions are for the weekend. I don't know how comfortable you are sharing them, since I know you might have to share them on the broadcast tomorrow, but do you have any expectations for this weekend, Azael?
Well, we already talked about it on the dive a fair bit, so it's no shocker. I think I slightly favor EG. I think that series is going to be incredibly close between FlyQuest and EG, because I do think that FlyQuest looks a lot better with solo, and even with Viper, like some of the games that FlyQuest lost against EG last time were incredibly close. There was notably that one game that FlyQuest was actually pretty in control and threw a Baron, and I think that's something that could have gone either way. So despite the fact that it was 3-1, I felt like that was an extremely competitive series. And I think that one is going to be a banger. Honestly, against C9, I just have I have such a hard time trying to picture the way in which C9 would lose. C9 has just looked so good and so much better than every team in the LCS. I can see either team taking games, but I really am struggling to see either team be able to get 3 out of 5 games. That just seems like a Herculean task. Cloud9 has just looked so good and really consistent.
Is it difficult for you to figure out how to, and we got a caller here, so we'll make this quick, but is it difficult for you guys on the broadcast team to figure out how to hype up the finals, whatever it's such a, perhaps a historic underdog situation for whoever ends up having to go up against Cloud9?
I wouldn't say that it's difficult to hype up at all, because I think it's ridiculously exciting. If you're a fan of North American League of Legends, then I think you are going to be excited for how good Cloud9 has looked. And I do think that for Cloud9 to kind of go down as one of these great NA teams in history, you have to get the championship. If you fail at that final hurdle, I think everyone's gonna remember kind of you in the terms of the Immortal seasons, where you kind of just fell short and didn't actually complete your goal. And the fact that Cloud9 hasn't won since 2014 is going to make every Cloud9 fan so excited for the possibility of them finally having a championship, right? Their banner, no longer fit in.
It's got mold on
the studio because it was too old, right? It got pushed back slowly, and Cloud9 doesn't even have one hanging up above the stage anymore. So, I think it's incredibly hype, and I'm a fan of good League of Legends, and I always want there to be great teams in NA, and it does feel like Cloud9 is the most excited I have been about a team's level since, I would say, probably 2016 TSM, I guess it was, when they were going off to Worlds, and analysts all over the world were saying, oh, they could get top 4, right? And then they burned out in groups. But before that, I was very excited for them. And it's also just fun to see the dominant team be the aggressive, crazy team, right? Because Cloud9 has had success at Worlds and internationally and everything before, but it was never as kind of the number one dominant North American team. It was always more as the underdog, coming in through playing and stuff like this, and surprising teams with aggressive playstyles and different strategies and having success anyway. So I think it would be cool to see our number one team be more innovative to help encourage other teams in the region to become more innovative, right? Because I think that's something that G2 has done for Europe. And I think that's something that some of the top teams in the LPL have done for the LPL, is when you see, the team that's monstering everybody doing all this crazy stuff, well, you want to do all this crazy stuff too, because you're saying that's the way to win. And that is exciting to watch.
Hey, we've got Blue Jay here. Blue Jay, where are you calling from?
From Sarnia, Ontario.
Let's go. Canadian.
Another Canadian.
Let's go.
I'm from Kingston.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Blue Jay, what do you want to talk about?
So I want to talk about FlyQuest. I need to preface this with, I know that, you have bosses to answer to and stuff like that, and you can't just make moves just like that. I understand that, but I think now is the time for FlyQuest to make a move, going into the semi-off season in between splits. And if they don't, I think they're kind of trolling. If they don't try to, I should say.
Sorry, when you say make a move, you mean roster move?
Yes.
For who?
So I know Doublelift is probably going to go to TSM, but I think if you're FlyQuest and you're not trying for him, I think you're hard trolling. And I also think that you should be trying to sign someone like Sneaky if you can't get Doublelift. Two things that are much easier said than done, but again, I think they've done a really good job this year of starting to garner some fans and actually get some reason to be excited about FlyQuest. And I think you have an opportunity to make a Worlds push, so I think they should try to get that player. Sorry, Turtle, but Turtle's just he's not Worlds caliber.
So you Sneaky or Doublelift are the moves that you want to see.
Right, and you would probably have to give a truckload of money, but I mean, at some point you got to do it. If not now, when? Honestly, if you're FlyQuest.
Let me ask Azael a question off this. If they got Doublelift hypothetically, do you think they could win Summer potentially? Assuming things work out and kind of hand waving some of the hypotheticals on paper, could you see a Doublelift edition being able to challenge this C9? Because it's an interesting idea.
It's possible, I guess, right? It depends how well their bot lane does. I mean, if Doublelift is not going to be able to slam lane with Ignar, if they're just going to be chilling and team fighting later, I don't think it's enough. But I think you need more points of pressure on the map, right? Because if you're expecting PoE can hold up and then you have a winning bot lane, then maybe things get more interesting, right? I think that's kind of the world you have to look at it from. My understanding of your take is just essentially that FlyQuest need to replace Wild Turtle then, right? It's not that they need to make just any move. You're saying basically they need to replace Turtle?
I think that is the move to make. There's other moves that you could argue for, but I think, in my opinion, the biggest hole is AD carry, and so that's why I think now you have an opportunity. I'm sure they probably did take a look at Sneaky in the previous offseason, but they weren't really a relevant team, so it wouldn't surprise me if Sneaky wasn't too interested in that at the time, but he may have changed his mind now. Who knows, right?
By the way, you mentioned that they're not a Worlds caliber team, but they are now currently, if this was Summer Split, they'd be a top 3 team heading into Worlds, right?
So yes, but would you still consider them to be a Worlds caliber team? I understand there's a chance that even they win the whole championship, but I don't know. I don't think any of us can honestly say that they're actually a Worlds caliber team right now. But that's just me.
Well, I mean you have to I guess you're assuming TL's gonna be better in Summer and or something like that, or what's the assumption here?
If Doublelift goes to TSM, I would assume that TSM
I think he means going to Worlds doesn't necessarily mean you're a Worlds caliber team.
Yes.
Right. So you mean compete at win
get out of
Worlds
or
whatever.
Yeah, you don't want a 100 Thieves, No offense to 100 Thieves. But,
to be honest, I don't think FlyQuest even with Doublelift would be getting out of groups at Worlds. I just think that unless you are insanely good, really, really top level and dominant, if you play a standard slow style, then I don't think you're gonna get out of groups at Worlds, right? And I think we've seen that proven so many times by our NA teams, right? The teams that usually do well internationally are teams that are playing more aggressive, and there have been some exceptions. I mean, TL did make it to MSI finals, but TL is also a complete all-star team. Right.
Yeah.
And, and that was so much more dominant and so much more, talent on that team that I think you could say the FlyQuest roster currently has. And besides that, for the most part, TSM and TL and so on in the past, when they go to Worlds, they don't do very well because they play slow and they play against teams that are playing the same style and better. And
The one caveat I would throw would be like I could see a world where Misfits-esque FlyQuest happens, maybe. You know, you have PoE and you have Ignar. I don't think like Max Lord is this god that Santorin can't play up to. Doublelift, in theory, if he's playing well, which he has been very hit or miss at international competition, but you know, Han Sama level easily, I think, if he's playing well. And the big question would be top lane. And that's just my
do they
my
play
big
that
question,
craziness, right?
Yeah,
That's more my question, is because the Misfits did it through this, you know, through craziness, right? Through all these, you know, different strategies. Everyone always goes to Fervor Leona and this sort of stuff, right? Like they didn't do it by playing the meta, and FlyQuest has felt very much like kind of more standard, slower meta team. So that's more my hesitation with it. I do think in general you have a better chance to succeed at Worlds if you're aggressive and you're more surprising, because if you play slow, the teams that you're playing against are likely, you're not going to make mistakes that you can capitalize on. So you kind of have to force mistakes.
Blue Jay, are you a FlyQuest fan?
Semi. Like, I wouldn't say they're my main team, but like I do always cheer for FlyQuest as long as they're not playing C9.
I just like that you have high expectations or high demands of this team. Like they've made it to top 3. They may make it to the finals depending on how tomorrow goes, and you're already like, I want changes. I want this team to be stronger than what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? I
So,
feel like
hold on, because I wouldn't say that I have high expectations of them for actual performance, but I do have high expectations for them to try to make something happen. Like, since they've joined the league, they haven't really done too much for FlyQuest fans to get excited about. And if you're joining a league and your plan is to never spend money, like, you're never going to get fans, or you're never going to do anything that's exciting. So that's more the point that I am trying to make, and I actually want to know if you guys think like they should go for something or if they should just chill.
we're low on time, so I just think we can toss it over to Mark and Azael really quickly. Do you guys think that they need to make a change depending on no matter what happens tomorrow?
I don't think they need to. I can still see them making Worlds with this roster, depending on how everything else spins out with other teams and stuff. But I kind of agree with the caller's point about this is the best position FlyQuest has ever been in the league, not just in terms of placing, but also just fan engagement and all this stuff. And a big, sexy roster move in the offseason that also leveled them up and got them to Worlds and all this stuff would be such a huge move for them that I can totally see it. But I don't know if you want to risk blowing up what you have. If you can't get Doublelift, I'm actually not super, I don't know what Sneaky's form is like right now, so it's like a bigger risk on that one.
Agreed.
And like maybe you're starting looking at Huni, but then you're starting to move other pieces around to fit him in. So I agree with the idea, but I'm not sure what pieces fit to you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a similar answer to what Mark has, is that I actually don't think that they need to do anything, because this is as far as if you're talking about brand and entertainment and things to cheer about, this is the most I think FlyQuest has ever done. This is their best year by far. I think that this is the first time people have really kind of rallied around their brand. I think, you know, their Go Green initiative, TreeQuest, all that stuff, I think has been really, really, really great for FlyQuest. And I do think that they're exciting the fans with that, and they are playing well and potentially, you know, going to make the finals, potentially could win the finals, right? So I think that is pretty impressive. But I also do think that, you know, not just FlyQuest, but really any team besides maybe C9, besides C9, I think would be trolling to not at least try to get Doublelift if he's going to be available. Just look at the last 8 splits, right? So if we're not counting this split, in the previous 8 splits, he was in the finals 7 times, won 6 of them. The only split he didn't make finals was the one he was inactive, where he then came back and I guess saved TL from relegation. So it's like his record in NA is just ridiculous. He's been the king of the region for years now. So I do agree that, like, if you're saying our goal is to win the region and we're going to be the best team ever, and you're not trying to get the guy who just wins every single time he plays, then yeah, you are kind of trolling, right? Or you're being a little bit disingenuous. Like, everyone should be trying to get him.
Hey, Blue Jay, thanks so much for calling. Anything you want to say before we move on to our next caller?
No. I got my stuff in. I know we got time to keep. That's cool. I appreciate having me on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you.
See you.
Azael, we're going to say goodbye to you too, but thanks for making an appearance and stopping by. Anything you want to say before we move on to Phreak, our next guest?
For Kobe.
Okay, all right. Goodbye.
I'm glad, dude. Our producer, Dave, was like, is it losing steam? And I'm like, you know what? He might be right. We might be losing steam on it. So I'm glad I hope everyone who stops by remembers the most.
I'm ejecting you. I'm ejecting you from the Discord. Please hang up on Skype. All right. Time to call in Phreak. Phreak is in pleb calls 1.
I'll drag him on air then.
Oh yeah, if you can drag him in, and then I will add him to the call.
Hello, Phreak.
Hello. It is
David Turley.
Hello, Phreak. I just added you on or called you on Skype. Can you answer and mute yourself?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, I need to mute the stream. Right. I was hearing you twice. Like, why am I hearing you twice? And now I figured out why.
Yeah. We're ejecting Azael and replacing with you. I think we should be good.
I'm glad. We're going to be
transition here. Oh my
I think it's going
Technically
okay.
Competent crew.
Oh my god. Yeah, you said technically competent crew. That's just me. I'm doing all this.
What a great
Travis,
behind the scenes crew we have.
Technically competent.
Thank you. I am technically
Let's
competent.
go.
So, Phreak, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Life's good. I am sitting at home talking to two of my favorite people. And, you know.
Who else is there with you?
Mark Z and Travis Gafford.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the high praise. What has it been like preparing for finals in the midst of a stay-at-home mandate?
Not that different, all things considered, right? We're doing the sort of normal gamut of meetings where we talk about the teams, the players that we want to talk about, getting broadcast graphics ready and whatnot. Like I know I'm casting tomorrow. I figured that out a couple days ago. So it's like looking more at FlyQuest and EG because I'm not going to cast Cloud9. And yeah, just sort of like sitting around. Tonight's my D&D night as well, so I've been like spending time prepping for that as well. And overall, fairly normal, all things considered.
Are you doing Skype D&D? Is that how you're, or video, Discord, whatever?
Yeah, we're using Discord and Roll20 basically.
Okay.
We're already using like software for tabletop stuff for tokens and whatnot, so a lot of that transition was really smooth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what are your predictions for this weekend?
The more I think about it, the more I lean towards FlyQuest for the first match. I think that like solo is a big upgrade. It allows them to play on top if they want to. Not that they have to for the match, but they certainly can, and I think they should since Kumo's fairly weak. He was getting really brutalized before. And in general, yeah, I put them like 3-2 or 3-1 over EG. It would require both an overperformance from FlyQuest and a huge underperformance from Cloud9 for C9 to drop in the finals. Realistically, they should 3-0. So I think even going 3-1 again is like, what are you doing? Like, you're kind of trolling. So it would be one of the biggest upsets in LCS history if C9 loses finals.
So it sounds like you're demanding a 3-0. A 3-1 is not enough for you.
I mean, I'm not like demanding it. Like, hey, it's still a really convincing win if C9, wins 2 games in 28 minutes, drops 1, and then wins again in 28 minutes. It's like, oh wow, yeah, they clapped these guys. But like, it was just like seeing them lose to EG. I was like, you're better than this. Like, you built your like 5K gold lead. Just close out the game. Okay, they trolled 3 team fights. All right, never mind. It's like they're better than that. Is just kind of my feel.
Well, I guess we'll have to see how things go this weekend. Mark, you have something.
I was going to ask Phreak if he has a preference on topic.
I'm the new LOR set comes out in a couple of weeks. I'm a big Valorant gamer, but also we could talk about any other current news, whether it's like Doublelift or like teams that should make offseason moves. I'm pretty open.
Okay, I know we got some TSM callers, so we'll get a TSM caller in here. They're the fun ones.
I'm loving how this is slowly going to turn into a Doublelift extravaganza.
Oh right, TSM Doublelift is happening again.
Yeah, potentially. Big shout out to some of you in the chat sending subs. I love you, chat, for 29 months. Yoko Maniac, Korean 2NA, CBTJG. Looks like we might have the next caller here because I see Mark sipping away at his alcohol. Where
he's currently people around in Discord, it's just us two. We can talk smack about Mark.
It's still just us. He's taking.
Do you want to say anything about Mark right now? He can't hear you. Oh wait,
he can hear you now.
There's VODs. I watch the VODs every time to see what people say about me when I'm not here.
Tom Solo Mid is here. Tom Solo Mid, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Long Island.
From Long Island? How's it going in Long Island?
It's not great right now because it's kind of the epicenter, a little more towards the city. But I've known some people who have gotten it, and we're getting through it at least.
Yeah, I hope everything is going okay over there for you, and obviously our thoughts are with everybody going through all that. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
So I've written like extensively about TSM's problems recently.
Where have you written them?
On Reddit. Actually, a month ago, I even wrote about how I felt like Doublelift would try to force a move to TSM.
Where can people find this?
Big brain caller.
The post got removed, but actually, do you guys just want me to DM you the screenshot of it? Or
No, it's okay. I just don't know if it was the TSM subreddit or the league one
TSM,
or comments.
Yeah, it was on the TSM subreddit, but I've been writing a lot about the problems, and the take that I specifically wrote about to get in here was that while I think Parth is the problem with TSM and just management in general, I think that there's a good chance that TSM can get 4/5 of the 2016-17 roster by getting Haunter and Doublelift back.
So first off, I'm going to need you to write me an essay.
I was about to say he already did.
It's
fine.
like
He posted it on Reddit. They took it down, but he has the screenshot. He has
Secondly,
the essay prepared.
Do you want to return to the 2016-2017 lineup?
So it's difficult for me to say because like I'm a big Doublelift fan and I like Haunter. So personality wise on the team, I'd love to see that. I'm not sure if necessarily that would be an improvement because since 2017, TSM has changed up the roster every year and we've had like 5 splits of relative disappointment. I know that we got to the finals last spring, but still.
Mark, do you have a thought on all this?
No, but I'm sure Phreak does. So, Phreak, one, what are your thoughts on current iteration TSM? Was it a disappointment in your eyes? Do you want to see changes? And also, then, how does 2016 TSM sound to you? As close as you can get to it.
Sure. So 2016 TSM, I think, is a little problematic because I think Haunter is not playing to his old level. I think, back in the day, he was maybe a top 3 top laner, and then being propped up by being on the best team made him look like maybe the best, though I don't think that was ever really his actual skill ceiling. That said, like there's been a lot of new additions to the league that are better. Like Licorice came up real fast, good for him. Someday is obviously incredible. I mean, I feel like Haunter's like at the skill level of Soaz roughly, right? Like, okay, he's made playoffs. That's pretty good. Like he's a playoffs level top laner, but like he was never why Golden Guardians was winning. It was like FBI in team fights and Closer being an insanely good jungler. So it's like, okay, well, I don't think that makes TSM better, right? Like Broken Blade, I think is objectively a better player than Haunter. Maybe there's a play style change that like makes TSM better. That's always possible, right? That could just happen. Don't get me wrong. So maybe there's something there, but player for player, I don't take that instantly. In the jungle, I personally think Svenskar didn't have a great year. That said, he's made top 3. I thought he was better run C9, but okay, no duh. He was with Niski. That's different, but not as big of a fan of Svenskar right now. Is he better than Dardoch? I don't know. It's fairly close. I think they're both quite good in general. So even if you could make that trade, I'm kind of neutral on it. I think Dardoch maybe had a better year anyway. So, okay, is Doublelift then better than Kabe? Yeah, I as a player, absolutely. If Doublelift, for whatever reason, is still in the mindset of, well, it doesn't really matter, I don't care, I don't want to be competitive, blame my team, I played 100 games of Senna, and then I had one bad game, and they banned me from playing it. It's like, that's some mindset issues, and mindset issues can be very short-term, right? It can just be, hey, he's in a bad mood because he didn't make playoffs, and, he's, like, having to cope with that. Like, that can happen. Like, don't get me wrong. People can be in bad mind spaces. I'm generally willing to give Double a pass. If he gets back to like highly competitive form where he's really hungry, and yeah, he can be the best AD carry in North America like that if he wants to be. I think he still has that in him. So yeah, that could be an upgrade, right? And with that there, especially if he's getting resources to move around the map, he's getting Bjergsen to roam. I think just like people moving around in general is really powerful. Then that can be a really good catalyst for TSM. Like that is a lens where I could say, okay, yes, Double coming in could make TSM better. And even if it means like they're just predictably bot focused, that's fine. That got TL 4 wins in a row. Like that's okay.
So you like the idea of Doublelift. The other potential move,
it can be
not as hot on.
Yeah.
What about TSM as a whole? Because in the dive and stuff like that, we all had them top 3. I think I don't know what your spring season.
I had them as second personally.
But yeah, so everyone kind of expected more out of this roster. So in that sense, it's a disappointment. But is it a try harder for summer disappointment or a blow it up a little bit disappointment?
I don't know. It's weird. I'm personally not a fan of blowing up teams very much personally. Like in a lot of the scenes that I've looked at, Counter-Strike being a notable example, like certainly there are, I don't have all my history perfect because I don't follow it as closely as League, of course, but like it feels like there's teams like, let's say, Mouse Sports, where they're not making a lot of changes and just steadily the team gets better and better. Mouse Sports is like a top 2 or top 3 team right now. I think they beat Astralis recently. And it's like, yeah, they've made a couple of roster changes once in a while, but like a lot of those players have been on that team for like a year and a half at this point. And so I don't know, like you can have situations where you cut one player and it just ruins everything. And then you can have situations where you bring in one player and it fixes everything. And you can have situations where it's actually just blow up the roster because it's not working. And look, I really couldn't tell you which one TSM is in. What I will say is, couching expectations somewhat, is that, like, look, the league is getting better. There are better teams, better orgs, better GMs, better coaches, and more better players come in as well. Like I've said a couple of times, or at least once, like, Hanser has been passed. Like, he was maybe top 3. He's 7th-ish now. That is just a fact, because 3 more good top laners joined the league, Licorice and Someday being 2 easy examples. So even if 2016 TSM stayed the same team, there's a decent chance they don't win number 4 or 5 or 6 in a row because other good teams show up. So if we were in this mirror universe where TSM never blew up the roster, there's no guarantee they still would have won. Maybe they don't fall quite as fast as they did. Again, I think the changes were probably wrong in the short term, but there's no guarantee that they would just continue to be a winning team. We already saw them take TL to Game 5 in the finals way back when. That was with Sven hard trolling and like burning QSS and then face checking a Skarner. Like, it is the same Sven who is number 3 in MVP voting this year, right? Like, it's the literal same player. He switched teams and just got better, right? Like, what do you want me to say? Like, TSM was one bad play from a great player away from winning the championship, and then no one talked about this anymore. It's like, well, clearly the roster changes were fine then if they were one play from winning. It's same with Cloud9 with Jensen for getting to Zonia's the Syndra W 2 years ago as well. It's like, look, if you're one play away from winning the title, exactly how bad is your GM then? Is he going to micro for you and hit Zonia's on time? Like, so some of that, I feel like you get this sort of historical survivorship bias thing where it's just like, but if you actually watch the games, it was fine. This team was good. So that's, one thing I kind of want to bring up is like that sometimes doesn't work. And then even some of that like old school TSM win, like wasn't one of those splits them having the 6th seed and fighting through playoffs? Was that the sickest TSM ever where they go into playoff at 6th seed and can't barely win games? Like, this is the TSM you're hoping for, audience, right? So like, I don't know. I think a lot of the people who just count podiums, they don't see the picture very well. And so in general, I think people are harsher on TSM than they need to be if they were to like kind of take a better look at what actually happened.
Do you have any? Oh, go ahead really quick, Mark.
I was going to say, I'm fairly agreed on the point, especially about just reuniting 2016 TSM. Doesn't mean you get the summer incredible roster, right? Especially your points about what if their level dropped or other people surpassed them. On the topic of if TSM should make a move, I kind of feel like they do maybe. And I know the caller's point was a lot more management focused. That's one of the harder ones to comment on from the outside because like there's literally no like clear metrics. Whereas at least I can be like, hey, I watched Dardoch kill himself a bunch of times in that series, or I think Doublelift would have had a bigger impact on those games. Like those are easier things for me to say. So like I would look probably at those two more than getting Hanser and bringing that in of potential moves as a TSM fan. That would interest me. But I don't know what you get from Jungle.
I would just say if they do make a move, like let's say they do trade out Kabe
somehow
for Doublelift.
Yeah.
I would say there's going to be so much pressure on that team in summer to perform. Can you imagine a world where Team Liquid makes it to Worlds and TSM doesn't after they trade Peter? Or can you imagine a world where even if TSM just performs worse, or whatever team Kabe goes to, assuming he stays in LCS and assuming all this happens, actually outperforms TSM? Like the drama around what could potentially happen in summer is going to be wild. Like, this is definitely maybe more than any other year the year of the Doublelift, despite his tweet a couple years ago. Like people are going to be They did nothing but talk about him in spring, and they're going to do absolutely nothing but talk about him in summer, no matter if he stomps on everybody with a new team or he ends up, doing whatever. I don't know.
It's revenge tour or he's washed. It was only two narratives to spin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a quick anecdote that I think is interesting. That my time is up. I realized that I actually like Doublelift a lot. Like, don't think this as Doublelift hate. I think it's an interesting anecdote. The last two, so not counting TL because he's still on TL. The last two teams that Doublelift won on, that he won the LCS on, they immediately won the next split when he left. That was both TSM and CLG. Immediately won the next split after he left the team. And I just think that's interesting, right? That like he obviously brought these teams championships, but they could also win without him afterwards. I'm curious if he leaves TL, then TL wins the championship without him.
Potentially. Hey Tom, any final words before we move on to our next caller?
I just want to talk about two things that were mentioned real quick.
Can you make it one thing? We're really low on time.
One thing.
Just go quick.
So you talked about Kabe real quick, and Kabe has been a huge talking point on like r/TSM because like it would be terrible to bring in a player from EU and then just like immediately drop them. So you mentioned that you think that Kabe might stay in LCS if TSM were to hypothetically bring in Doublelift. Why do you think that? Why do you think he wouldn't just go back to EU?
I don't know who you're asking this to, but one potential reason could be depending on how his contract is worded. Like he could easily just get traded. I don't know how it's phrased. If the buyout that a team would pay for him frees him to then do whatever he wants, or if they're actively buying the contract from TSM. So it's hard to know why and what would happen without knowing the specifics of the contract.
Thanks so much, Tom Solomid, for the call. You want to give a shout out or anything?
I'm just gonna give a shout out to my boy Paul, who's watching right now. And besides that, thank you guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Shout out to Paul.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna quick rotate to Dash.
Bye.
Thanks so much, Phreak. Anything you want to say as we say goodbye?
Thank you, Travis, for hosting the best league talk show.
Oh wow, that was easy. All right, thank you so much. Okay, off you go. Now we're trying to get Dash. Back. Is Dash in any of these? Oh, he isn't. He's in pleb calls too. Can you pull him?
Yep,
Mark?
I'm getting him on air.
Okay, and then
all right, he's on air.
I have him in. I wonder if it calls because we're creating a giant Skype chat with everybody.
You think it's gonna call everyone?
Oh wait, I accidentally called Nicole. I don't want Nicole. I mean, I do, but this is awkward.
Can't he just, if you add him to it, can't he just click join call?
Yes. I have to. Okay, he joined. Okay, here we go. Goodbye.
Did you mute on Skype and were you using Discord for audio?
Yeah, Discord for audio.
Oh my god, he's so quiet for me. Can you hear him on?
You can. Yes. No.
He's really quiet on Discord. I think that might be because of the Skype call lowering his volume.
That.
Oh, is it that's dumb?
I'll turn him. I'll turn you up manually, Dash.
That usually doesn't do it for.
I won't touch any
incoming though,
because otherwise we're gonna have.
I have him on max. I have him on max. Can you up? Okay, in Discord.
In Discord.
Yeah. Can you up your Discord?
I got it.
Here we go. Sorry guys for the technical issues as we rapidly rotate and I one man produce this show. I need to find.
Do a ton, but there you go. There's a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's good. And you'll get uppity, and then you'll shout really loudly. So I'm not worried.
Yeah, you know me. You know
uppity
me.
instead of animated. Uppity's
screaming.
He always gets uppity. Twitch chat, can you hear him? Okay, is this going to be passable?
Well, hold on. I also can. I'll mess with my gain a little bit over here.
Okay.
Well, bam. All right.
Okay, perfect.
All right, I like it.
It sounds like you're on the analyst desk.
Woo!
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, Dash. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
How you been holding up?
Pretty well. I was having a rough go of it, I think, like last week, and I realized as much as we are supposed to be observing safe social distancing guidelines, and I have been, I needed to get outside and see the sun more. I was just spending so much time isolated indoors, so I just made sure to get out every day for like the last 7 days in a row for a half hour to an hour just to walk and get that sunlight, and I have felt so much better with at least that small change.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty difficult. I think today I I walked out of my room and I just saw Kobe, kind of like the Narcos meme, just like standing around and staring off into the distance out the balcony and in the kitchen, and just you could tell he very much needed to go outside. So it's been difficult.
It's a tough time. I think it's a tough time for everyone. That's why it's important to check in. So thank you very much for doing that. I hope both of you are well. I know we're short on time, but I don't think it can be overstated how important self-care is right now, and for everyone to kind of check in with themselves and really understand what your mind and your body needs, and take care of yourself.
Yeah. Otherwise, you might end up in front of like 3,000 people in a romper and a hat.
Mark, you are the pinnacle of high fashion, my friend. I've never been able to pull off a romper, and you can now say that you have. So.
I was about to say, are we calling this pulling it off?
Look, man, I think those colors suit you quite well. The hat was an interesting choice. That's probably the piece of the ensemble that I would have avoided. Is the
all right for you? The hat's coming off.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend.
And Dash, I think if you sound really good whenever you're right next to the mic. So if you can
all right. I'll be right in here.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna get to hear the ASMR Dash.
Oh, that's so much better. Okay.
Oh, it's so much. Wait, what?
All right. Well, Mark, if you want to start looking to pull somebody, and Dash, what are your predictions for this weekend?
I'm actually leaning a little bit more towards Phreak's camp. I know we had Azael and Phreak on, and Phreak was pulling for FlyQuest, and I think I kind of align with that. I think Saturday's series is going to be super close, so I'm calling 3-2 for FlyQuest, and a lot of that comes from both momentum of winning the series prior, whereas EG lost it. I know it was a tougher opponent, but just momentum matters, and as well the biggest factor being that they've landed on solo, it seems, and I think that roster of 5 coupled with momentum and continued improvement, because they've only been together so long, I actually think they're going to surprise us and pull some stuff. And then I think C9 crushes no matter who makes it in. 3-0, 3-1 at most. But when Cloud9 has lost 2 games the entire split, how are you asking a team to win 3 against them? It's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Well, let's hop into our call, because our caller is here with a reference to a game that I wonder how many people will get. I Miss Infinite Crisis is here. I Miss Infinite Crisis. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay. Wasn't that game? I was in Boston, I think, where they made it. So you're maybe not a former employee, but what do you want to talk about on the show?
Well, I actually wanted to talk about the possibility of Doublelift going to Dignitas over any of the other teams, because I'm thinking.
Mark, are we gonna grab a finals call?
I didn't know we were doing all Riot people in a row, because I was like, okay, I have a FlyQuest, EG, and C9 caller all ready for when Nicole, Jack, and Tricia come on, and it's just fucking boring Riot personality after boring Riot personality.
Excuse me, Mark?
Dash isn't boring.
I meant the other two before you.
Thank you.
This will be great.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So give us your dig take in the night. This might be is this our final Doublelift call for the night, Mark? Do we have one more?
I think.
Okay. Well, give us your dig take.
Okay. So the way I looked at it is that with the top 5 teams, I don't see any changes as far as your ADC goes. This at this point in the season would be advisable. So that would leave our bottom 5 teams, which would be, I believe, which Dignitas is in. And so I looked at it as, okay, Dig and CLG would be the obvious choices, in my opinion, just because they've got native ADCs, right? So it'd be simple without any import slots having to get weird. Then, though, when I brought that up with my friend who I was initially talking about with, he said that Aframu and Doublelift aren't on the best terms. I'm not sure if that's true, but with that in mind, I had thought about the fact that Ole is on the Academy roster, and Ole and Doublelift did win 2 splits together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the simple move would be to acquire Doublelift, move Ole up from Academy onto the main roster, and then it would be as simple as trying to figure out what to do with Huni.
I am not sure that Peter would be thrilled to play with Ole again. Just because I think he likes him personally, but I feel like the move to Core JJ was somewhat endorsed by Peter, and so I would be surprised to see actually. A better question would be: would he rather play with Aframu or Ole again? Perhaps one he's not interested in never answering. But I think that might be the support stuff might be a bit of a struggle for you in the Dignitas move.
Right. That's a fair point.
I would be curious, Dash's initial thoughts to
hard pass. Absolutely not.
if you're Doublelift, right?
If you're anyone, if you're Dignitas or if you're Doublelift, I actually think I do recognize Azael's point earlier of saying that any team in the LCS should be looking at Doublelift because of the caliber of player that Doublelift is, and I do agree with that statement, kind of in a vacuum, in isolation. But if I look at Dignitas and what maybe Dignitas is trying to build, as well as what Dignitas should augment based on what happened this split, I don't think the 80 carry is the piece that they need to fix right now. I think there are bigger gains made by looking at top jungle mid at the moment. Particularly when you take into account the money that they're spending on those positions as compared to what I assume, I don't know what they're paying Johnson, but what I assume they're paying for Johnson. And so when you look at the economy, I think the financials of this decision, it doesn't make a ton of sense to take a guy who adequately performed for the price that you were paying for him and the expectation that you had of him for the split in Johnson. As opposed to looking to replace the piece that whose cost far outweighed his actual performance. It's very Moneyball-esque in the sense of like just looking at like what is the value I get for the cost that I pay, and I think pretty objectively you can look at Dignitas's performance this split and say Huni for sure, and then I have to assume Froggen commanded a sizable salary, not near what Huni's was, but those would be the two guys that I would be looking at to say we paid X to get Y, and we still paid X. We didn't, X is what was paid, but we got 0.5 Y, and so that's what we want to look to fix.
Sorry.
I was going to just ask quickly, what was your initial reaction when you saw like the Huni? His contract is trying to be moved after one split. For Dash. After signing a 2-year, 2.3 mils. It sounds like, from my understanding, some portion was guaranteed, which is where that kind of disagreement happened between the GM when he like commented on Loco's comment about like the 2.3 mil isn't all guaranteed. But I've heard that this is the rumor I've heard is that 1 year they have to pay out 12 months. You're not a credible source.
Oh, I'm not a credible source. Sorry. I'll stop talking. Anyway, continue, Dash.
It's a tough position. Here's the thing. I don't think Dignitas is in an easy position because I think it's going to be hard to offload that contract. I don't know what kind of team right now that maybe has the disposable income to buy that contract is also in need of a possibly top performing but very volatile top laner. Again, if I'm looking at teams that might want to throw money out like that, they already have reasonably good top laners. And so I think for Dignitas, more what I'd be looking at is if I can't offload the Huni portion or the Huni contract from the roster, I'm looking to play or index into his play style even further. And one of my big fears coming into this split was not understanding how Froggen and Huni were supposed to operate on the same team together. And it's not a slight on either of them. I just don't think their play styles that complement each other. And we kind of saw that even as Froggen made significant efforts throughout the split, I think to get out of lane and get to the side lanes, which is somewhat counter to the play style he normally succeeds with. Sure, they got some wins. It wasn't enough. So I actually think maybe you look to get rid of Froggen. And this isn't because I think Froggen is a poor player, but I think because you're looking for something else in the mid lane to augment Huni. And that's assuming that they can't offload Huni's contract. If they can get someone to buy Huni's contract, I say you go that route because you're just shoveling out cash right now for an unwanted outcome.
And I tweeted about this a little bit, but I continue to think like it is. You mentioned the economy of the situation, Dash. I will reference the economy in the United States right now and say that I don't think that
also that
I think Dig is holding back.
Saying Demonte, and I agree. I 100% agree. Thank you for calling that name out. This is a guy I think should have been on a roster coming into Spring Split. It's actually who I was hoping 100 Thieves was going to look at. Very happy with the way that Ryoma has been performing in his rookie split here in the LCS. So, I'll take my licks there for assuming that maybe Tanner would have done better. But I think Demonte is 100% the style of player who would better fit with Huni than Froggen does, and then maybe Froggen finds a better home. Who knows?
Yeah.
I actually had an interesting thought there.
And if you can make the thought real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, it's sorry. So the gist of it is that is offloading Huni and maybe swapping Frog into top lane, because his less aggressive, less roaming style of play, I think, might be a simple thing of throwing Demonte up in the mid lane and maybe swapping Frog into top and seeing what results that would yield. That was just another thought that went through my head. But again, Huni and Demonte played together very well last year. They did manage to get clutch into Worlds, even though they got group of deathed. So I mean, they're both valid options. I just think that in this situation, Froggen is the better player to keep, especially considering the economy parts, like you mentioned, over Huni.
Yeah, I think just to kill, I just can't imagine Dignitas right now shelling out the money to keep. I think part of the reason they're trying to drop Huni, not just as the performance, but also I think the cost associated with him, and I think that Doublelift will probably command a very large cost. So I think that's the issue. Dash, you were going to give up maybe a final thought?
No. I was going to say kind of exactly what you're saying, which is that so much of this specific conversation comes down to the economy of the discussion and whether or not, anyone's even remotely interested in Huni's contract. Otherwise, I think that dictates a lot of the moves that organization can and would even want to make. So while I agree something needs to change, I actually don't think it's the 80 carry, which gets back to the core of the question. I actually think Johnson is in a good spot, and I want to see him under the tutelage of a more experienced player like Afromu, who might not be a mechanical god, but can help this kid learn the ropes. And then let's see, Johnson move on to maybe, next to somebody like Vulcan, right? And then oh my God, what a bot lane that could be. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much. Any shout outs, anything you want to say, Miss Infinite Crisis?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out Infinite Crisis. First MOBA, great game, really miss it. And then I wanted to shout out my gold Clash team, my friends John, Josh, Chase, and Zach. So, thanks for having me on the show. Great talking to you guys.
Hell yeah, good luck in your next Clash tournament.
Thanks, guys.
And Dash, it's time to say goodbye to you too, but I think one question I wanted to ask you really quickly that I've been meaning I forgot to ask Mark and our former Riot broadcast guest. What's it been like being on ESPN? Do you feel more weight as you know that the broadcast is going out onto television?
More weight? I don't know if I would use that term. There's an amount of pressure, I think, that goes along with just knowing that maybe there are some new eyeballs on there and you want those people to feel welcome and to not feel alienated. So that's maybe one piece of it, is that I just hope that the way I choose to speak to our audience is inclusive enough. I think the crazier thing is that we're working with two different broadcasts.
Yeah.
So the technical aspect of it is what's harder, and that's just because I actually don't have a direct connection to the ESPN broadcast. I only have a connection to my producers, and I trust them with my life. I will follow them off a cliff, and so I really do have to do that. I just have to listen to them and be ready to go. But having no control, literally zero control over one half of the show almost, is a very different feeling than what I normally have, where I can always hit my producer and say, I want to hold on. I want to hold for 30 seconds or something. ESPN's got to go. They got to go. They got to go. And so when my producer says, cut them off and throw to commercial, I'm like, And so there's just a little bit of that stress. And it's a situation I've never taken part in. So,
well, thanks, cool. Dash. Anything you want to say as we say goodbye?
Yeah, I want a small grievance with you, sir. The thumbnail for this show tonight, you realize that was Dark Dash and not...
Oh, I apologize.
And that was not Dash.
I did not personally do the graphic for it, but
who do I... Yeah, you don't have any oversight.
I take responsibility.
You're nameless, faceless graphics guy.
I will admit, I felt like the graphic was really good. And
it was a really good graphic. And then I noticed a little bit, I don't know if there's a Freudian slip, because I tuned into your stream before 8 p.m. and I noticed that your camera was perfectly over my head. So you chose not to replace yourself on the image, but me on the image with your.
Well, in the image, you are just you're lifting me up, and so I felt like you could support me in that way. We're out of time.
Yeah, all right, I will. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
See you. Thanks.
Bye.
I assume we're going to give everyone else an extra 5 minutes now, because we're a little bit over.
Yeah, we might be running a little bit over. I'm trying to make sure that it's not too much. Can you help me hunt down flowers while I do a a quick break because I haven't seen him join any of the channels yet. And he's going to go Skype us. But
if you're here, please.
I did DM him on Twitter, but if you can hunt him down and maybe try to give him
more I can do other than
Discord.
Look for his name.
Well, just think about it while I do this Alienware ad. All right, everyone. Big news tonight. Two big cool things that I'm happy synced up perfectly for us to announce on Spring Finals Mega Hotline League 2020. One is if everyone can go right now to alienware.com/Travis. I think you have to add the HTTP in. I'm going to do that. I'll just put it into the chat. But what you're going to see now is, I know some of you guys, if you're good human beings, have been to it previously. But now there is a dedicated Travis Gafford landing page. I need to update this thumbnail. That where you can see, obviously this giveaway right now. You can enter it right, by the way, to get a gaming monitor, a desktop. They've been doing that as part of the LCS broadcast. Now you can also, like, this is a dedicated video that we did talking about the partnership and everything. And then also quotes from me on some of the hardware that we use. Mark, I don't know if you can see the screen right now, but your cat is actually in the shot, the screenshot. Yeah,
that's pretty glorious.
Yeah, I felt like I would do that for you.
Is there a suitcase on my bed too? What's going on in that picture?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is a suitcase. You should clean it more. And so we've got a bunch of stuff about the way that we use the gear and all that stuff. So if you guys can just check it out at alienware.com/Travis. That's really cool. We've got my savings code Travis10 off on there. So it's kind of a cooler experience. And we're also going to be trying to update this throughout the year. With some of the different gear that we use, and you guys we're going to spotlight some of the stuff and try to spotlight the partnership. Even some like special content, maybe even we'll go on here that we're working on a Valorant video that might live on this page. So either way, really cool that Alienware was able to make it happen, and I think it looks really great. So please check it out. Secondly, some of you guys might have registered for Alienware Arena already as part of like a giveaway or whatever. However, if you have not, and you live in the U.S., I think maybe it's North America, but I believe it's the US. You can go right now to alienwarearena.com/Travis. I'm going to put a link in the chat, and this will be hopefully it's not alienware.com/Travis, alienwarearena.com/Travis, and you can get a Hex Tech chest. We're giving away 3,000 Hex Tech chests as part of this, which is actually pretty cool. So literally, the first 3,000 people to sign up on this page instantly win. It's not like a chance to win, not like you enter a contest, you instantly win a Hex Tech chest. So everybody can go to alienwarearena.com/Travis. I don't know if we're going to crash the page. If we crash the page, maybe check back later. But go get a Hex Tech chest for League of Legends. Yeah, you can go do that. Head over to the awards section once you've made it. There's a bunch of info in there. So alienwarearena.com/Travis. Check it out. And yeah, I don't know if it has a key. It might have a key. Just go check it out. Do me a favor. Sign up. alienwarearena.com/Travis. Thank you so much to them. Literally 3,000. We're giving away 3,000 chests. That's pretty cool. Any luck, Mark?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Should I just get the next caller and we'll 2-man it?
I think let's see if we can go. Maybe we can go quick to. Let me see if I can pull somebody early, one of our other guests, just in case Flyer shows up later.
Okay.
Let's see if Jack's free. Jack, are you free? Hello, Jack.
I saw him in Twitch chat earlier.
Can we move you up early?
And I saw Reaper come in and ask when Jack was going to be on.
Okay. Jack says, yo, Jack, I'm going to call you. Can you join the Discord, Jack, and join one of the channels, discord.gg/Travis, if you're free a little early? That would be super helpful. While he's getting into Discord, shout out to OPTSM fan who gifted subs to Dash, Doublelift, X Empire, Reaper, Rage the Budkip, Phreak, a bunch of other people, ZBig05, Andrew Rules Dude, Ghost Han, Shielded Avenger, Insaya, so many things, Dawn of Raven, Weapon, XO, Smoke Dog. I believe we're all caught up on the subs, but thanks everyone for doing that. Jack should be joining one of the Discord channels.
Yeah, he was asking which channel. Any channel works.
Any channel, we'll just pull you.
Just scrolling
there,
up.
Oh, he's down there. I found him. Hello, Jack. Jack, hello.
Yo, hey.
Hey, I'm going to call you on Discord right now. I'm going to add you to the call. Just do me a favor and mute as soon as you join.
Got it.
Okay. And thanks for being flexible so we can pull you early. I need to change it so it doesn't say Captain Flowers above your head.
Oh no, your rotation's thrown off. Everything's
Okay.
falling apart.
Okay. You should be getting a call right now on Discord, are you?
All right. Let's see. Let me check.
You mean
Or,
on
I'm sorry,
Skype?
on Skype.
Yeah, I'm on Skype right now. Could you guys not hear me?
I hear you on Discord. I don't hear you on. Oh, you just need to turn your camera on Skype.
Oh, okay.
And other than that, you're
Do
good.
need to do that. 1 second.
And I think we should be good. Honestly, we're rotating quickly right now. I think we're doing okay for
It's not bad.
a show that was being self-produced. I see you in the call. I think you just need to turn your camera on and we'll be good.
Yeah, I think Skype just crashed. 1 second.
Oh, that happens sometimes. Well, Mark, if you have a caller ready to go.
I'm ready. Go ahead and pull me in.
Okay. Yeah, I think I already pulled you. It says that you're in the call.
Okay. Cool. Joining.
Okay, cool. I think we should be good. Oh, I saw it flash for just a second. And there we go.
Hey, is this working?
Yes. Okay, I'm adding you into the overlay, and we see you. Thank you. Welcome to the show, Jack. Congratulations on winning Spring Split. It sounds like you already have, based off of everyone we've talked to on the show so far. Are you at all nervous at all going into this weekend? Because maybe there's a lot of pressure for everything to go the way it needs to go.
Nervous? No. I'm just enjoying all of the drama outside of LCS right now. It's been really fun to follow.
Okay.
What's been your favorite drama? Is it Travis Gafford's YouTube channel? Is it
I think seeing some of the offs, between season moves that are going on is really exciting. I think it's been super interesting. I want to see like North America get better, and I think some of these moves could make North America better. And so I've sat down and thought a lot about like what moves would I make if I was on this team, and what would be the outcome of that. So it's been pretty fun.
Nice.
Now I'm wondering I just want to throw a team at Jack and be like, fix this team and see what his
Jack,
solutions
are you aware of moves or rumors that haven't been reported yet? I won't ask you which ones. I'm just curious if there's other stuff you're hearing that isn't out there yet.
So not really. I've got pretty bad information, to be honest. I have noticed some interesting solo queue trends though. Noticed Bjergsen's been playing with Spica, so I wonder what's up with that.
Oh, interesting.
And how would that change that team? Would it be better or worse? And I have no idea if any of these things are real or not, but it's definitely fun to think about.
Nice. Mark, do you want to grab our
He's
caller
already
for
here.
Jack?
William is.
He is already here. William, welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York.
New York. Hope everything is going okay for you there. What do you want to talk about on the show?
I want to talk about how Cloud9's success is not just from their talented players, but how they coach the players. They want the players to play what they're good at, and they always want their team to be on the same page. I remember Cloud9 lost 2 players in the beginning of the season, and then they had a bad start, but they were still able to come back and win Academy.
So you think it's a lot of this is the coaching stuff that you're saying is responsible for the success of the org? So Jack, how much of it is any of this you, or is it all Reaper? Because it sounds like these are coaching decisions that are the credit, or it needs to be given.
It's really a huge team effort, and so and it's not just obviously Ripper's incredible, but it's the players that we've picked up and their mentalities. It's really good management that's working with them every day to try to make sure that they're getting everything they need and they're staying focused. We have an incredible sports psychologist, Gary, who has brought a lot to the team as well. So it's a huge team effort. It wouldn't be fair to anybody to say it was one particular person.
One thing I heard that was interesting from Raz during Academy when I was working with him today, he mentioned that C9 Academy probably worked harder than other teams. He was talking about scrims on game days and warming up and taking those more often and more serious than other people. And he said you guys were always super active in the Skype group that was asking for scrims all the time. So is that something that you kind of mentioned the players, but is it more coming from staff hoping to push the players, or is this like players being like, man, we suck, we're 4 and 5 through the first round robin, we need to get better type thing?
No, it's really is a group effort. Like the players that we selected were really hungry. And the management wanted to work with people that were really engaged in what they were offering. So across the board, if you have one player like that wasn't like hungry and didn't want to work hard, it actually spreads across all the other players. It causes like a lot of other problems. And so over the last few years, we've tried to be really selective. You can't be perfect on it. And if I want to take you back to December. We made some moves, like we announced academy players and they quickly dropped off. 2 of them actually, because there's only so much you can get done in an interview process. And once they come out and you find out, hey, these guys actually aren't fitting in with the program that the way we thought they would. And historically we would say, oh, we can fix this, or, let's give it some more time. But experiences has taught us like, hey, we should just pull the trigger and change this now before it becomes a problem mid-season.
That's really interesting, because I didn't want to, it's hard to ask someone to give away the secret sauce of what makes their org so good, because I had our stats team pull. You guys were in 5 of the 8 last finals in academy, which is more. The next closest was at 2. There's 2 teams at 2. So like you have more finals appearances in academy than the next 2 closest put together, which is pretty crazy. So
we're really good at second.
Yeah, yeah, definitely the case. But like, what else would you say you think you guys do really well to find these right players that are able to work in this holistic approach that you're saying, where everyone's working together? Obviously, recently you're mentioning being very quick when you think you see a problem, is saying, all right, this isn't going to work out. But what else do you think you guys do that seems to be better from the outside than all these other orgs that can't quite always be at the highest level like you guys are?
I mean, we do spend a lot of time trying to figure out small little improvements. I think if you try to like make huge improvements on any person, like you're going to end up falling short. So we spend a lot of time thinking about like, what little changes can we make to our environment to make it better? What little like adjustments to our play could make things better? And I think by doing that for a long period of time, we've picked up some really big gains that you wouldn't have thought of when you first put in the small changes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. What do you think it is that has allowed? I mean, you kind of answered this, I think, just a second ago, but I don't know if you can broadly speak to what is it about you guys that is so different from the other teams that allows you to build talent and make these bets over and over again that just seem to pan out? I mean, obviously you guys are great at identifying your own culture fits and maybe dropping or making adjustments whenever you need to, but why is it that it feels like Cloud9 is the only team in the league that's able to consistently do this?
We've taken a lot of risks and we've screwed up sometimes, but I think we're not afraid to make those big changes that a lot of people would think are oh wow, that's going to really hurt us, like our brand image, or going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. And but I think it's important to do what you think is right, regardless of if it's going to have a lot of negative impact socially. If it's best for the team, the other players on the team are going to appreciate, the management's going to appreciate, the coaches are going to appreciate it. And it's not easy to do, and we haven't always done the right thing, but I think we've got a lot of momentum in that we've done a lot of things right, and now that we're building up a lot of trust inside Cloud9 to make these changes.
I'll push us in a minute about ahead to the actual finals and some of the predictions and stuff.
Well,
like that.
I'm thinking maybe we wrap up. Do you have another take on this, Mark? But otherwise, maybe I'm thinking we wrap up the call and go to another one.
Oh, I don't know if I have another C9 call prepared.
Okay. Well,
so I'll just transition in a second, but I have one follow-up question off that, which I think is really interesting about being willing to take the risk and make the move and mess up. And it kind of comes back to coaching staff, where Reaper has what feels like this pedigree and resume that is pretty unrivaled in North America right now. it raises this interesting chicken or the egg for me, where I'm like, okay, I want people to have your managerial mindset where you're willing to piss off the fans a little bit, or even sometimes your own players with controversial decisions that you think are the right ones. But then the other thing in my mind is like, do I trust some of these other coaches and organizations to actually be seeing clearly and making the right decisions? So I guess my question would be, if you didn't have Reaper and you had to rebuild from the ground up, and you didn't have this like long-standing, what many people would say the best coach in North American history, how would you go about trying to start over? Like, what would be the things that you're looking for in an organization to start building this tradition and ability to make difficult choices?
That's a super tough question, dude.
I know.
I don't have the answer for that one.
About this all the time.
I could think like some of the scariest things for me were before I picked up Reaper, right? I made some really big changes to my team. I moved High and Lemon and Balls and everyone and Rush to my academy team, or my challenger team at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And without guidance from someone like Reaper, I picked up Impact. I brought Media's back. We brought on Smoothie actually at the time, and it was Bunny Fufu and Smoothie, and that was scary stuff without having like a someone as smart as Reaper at my back validating kind of my thoughts. I have no idea how to answer your question. Besides, I would say that try to find someone that like as the owners, they need to spend the time to really actually understand what they're investing in and have a love and passion for it. And if they don't have it, they better find people that are really smart in identifying not only just like, hey, this guy's a really good player, but can these people actually work together? And like that type of like hiring isn't just tough for teams, it's tough for all businesses. And so it's a question that all companies are trying to figure out.
Hey, William, any final thoughts or follow-ups before we move on to the next caller?
I wanted to shout out my cousin. He hit rank 1 2 months ago, and he's trying to join Scouting Ground 17.
Oh wow!
And Travis, well, I met him once last year. I was very nervous, and he was very nice to me.
Thank you.
And Jack, hire LS.
Hire LS.
William, one quick follow-up. What is your cousin's summoner name?
Right now it's Echo Daimo Mo. I don't know how to say it correctly, but then his Twitter handle is Tangyuan, and then he has the screenshots of his rank 1.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay, cool. Well, maybe we'll see him at Scouting Grounds this year, and perhaps Jack will be able to scout him out, and then hopefully this clip will go viral, and my YouTube channel will get some extra views.
We scouted him
Alice right now,
right here.
Thanks so much, William. Have a good one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mark, do you think we could take the caller that we're gonna have for Flowers and bring him in right now, since we have Jack for another 10 or so minutes?
Sure. Let me see what I have in the can.
Well, while your Mark's working on that, Jack, follow up. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
It's interesting. I think both teams have really grown in strength over the season, and I'm glad to see that. I think that EG has higher highs and lower lows, and personally, like I think that either team could win. I would personally rather see FlyQuest come through because I think it'd be easier for our team. Not in that, like, I think that the low lows will obviously make EG pretty easy, but when they do hit their highs, they're strong, and I'd rather not see it. So, my personal bias, I want to see FlyQuest win. I think either team could win, though.
The storyline of old C9 players versus new C9 though is so spicy,
way more fun, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, luckily our caller has an opinion on what's going to happen.
Zeus, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Anderson, Indiana.
Anderson, Indiana. Awesome. What do you want to talk about?
Well, first off, let me preface this by telling Jack I'm a major C9 fan.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm assuming that EG beats FlyQuest, and I think that EG will beat C9 3-2 in the finals.
Oh, there's a spicy take. The one person that calls in tonight and says something other than a C9 win prediction. Well, why is that, Zeus?
I believe that over the course of sort of the end of the split and through the playoffs, EG has been getting better. I think everyone will agree with that. C9, Sven admitted in an interview with Travis that they've had trouble improving, right, because of the lack of competition. So I think it's been easier for EG to catch up than it has been for C9 to outrun them. And I think EG can pull off not only their own best of 5 against C9, but also like TSM's win against C9 in the regular season, how they sort of played around top lane, because I think their top lane is their sort of weakest point on EG. And it worked in their win against C9, right? They played around top lane, sort of put Licorice behind, and then the rest of their lanes were sort of able to outscale a little bit through the game. So I think they can pull off things like that, and their experience that has given them success through the rest of the playoffs, I think, will carry them through.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, what's your rebuttal?
I mean, I think some of those points are correct in that it is harder to stay ahead, and that when you're having poor scrim quality, and we pretty much have, you know that your opponents are learning more or have more opportunity to learn than you do. So you have to really push yourselves on making sure that that you're identifying ways you can improve when it's not really obvious. So and these teams have gotten stronger, and that is correct. That said, there's no fucking way EG is going to beat us. So we have it.
Well, there you go. I mean, Zeus, that should be good news for you, right? You're a C9 fan, so hearing that confidence from...
Oh yeah, for sure. I want them to win. I think there's a good chance that EG can pull out a close series.
Yeah, I think if they play well, they're going to make things tough. But in the end, we're going to beat them.
I mean, the problem, Zeus, is that we just saw, EG and C9. I don't know. I think it's really tough. Mark, is there any chance in your mind that C9 doesn't take the split?
Oh boy, I've been on the C9 hype train since basically week 2 or 3, where I've been making bets with everyone that C9 is going to win the split. I think I made like a 3-1 odds bet with you, and then I was stupid on the dive and accidentally flipped it against me, and I took a 1-3 odd that they would win the split. But it turns out it looks like it's pretty.
It's not always bad.
Yeah, it actually was the right bet to take. So I've had a couple bets out on C9 for a while, so I still think they're going to win. But I am the thing I'm most interested to see what happens is around the top lane with the Poppy counterpick that started kind of moving the needle. It felt a little bit in the series because Licorice dumpstered Kumo in both sides of the same matchup at first, and then Aatrox is a really interesting pick that's very easy to blind early on, but does have counters that, depending on how hard you want to go, you can get pretty deep into 1v1 counters. You can get these kind of tank ones like the Poppy, GP. You can get more skill-based matchups too if you want to play like Camille's and Aurelia, some people play. So I'm curious what Kumo has if the Poppy is not available, or where that swings it. But I still think it would have to be incredible, as well as a bunch of other things happening for C9 not to win. But I would wonder. Jack knows his team the best. If they lost, how does it happen? What went wrong in the world where C9 loses? Does Niski and
I don't know. The guys eat
come
some
off the
spicy
rails?
food tonight. Maybe I don't know.
Poisoning.
Food poisoning. We got some donuts sent to us by EG. Maybe those are laced or something. That seems the most likely way for us to take a.
That is true, actually. Yes,
that'd be a great on-brand way to beat you guys too.
It seriously would.
Yeah, did you just immediately dump those into the trash when they showed up, or
no? Like I took a picture because they were beautiful, and then I'm like, guys, don't eat these. I'm going to eat the first. Let's see what happens. I ate one. I survived. I saw some of our academy guys eat them, and they said
the academy team.
I love the idea
that you test them on the academy players.
You got to send them in first. Me, then the academy. All right, guys. I think we're clear.
Okay, that's amazing. All right. Well, Zeus, any final thoughts or shout-outs before we move on to our next caller?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to all the healthcare workers and frontline workers.
Hell yeah.
I'm a recovering corona patient, so
wow.
It's pretty crazy right now. So just everyone stay safe, and thanks for all their work.
Take
Well,
care,
really
man.
happy to hear that you recovered, and hopefully you're in good health now. And thanks for the shout out, because I think that's a great one to make. So thanks so much, and thanks for calling in. All right, that's our last call for Jack. Jack, I guess final question for me, unless Mark has anything pressing. I gotta say, like, it's got to feel like a long time coming, and I know it hasn't happened yet, but it's got to be somewhat exhilarating to be heading in as the heavy favorite to Sunday's match.
It's refreshing. It doesn't happen very often. I'm definitely enjoying each moment of it, and we have not won, though. I do recognize that, and we've been spectacular at grabbing silver medals for years, and I really don't want to do that again. So we'll just try to stay focused and get this thing done.
Well, thanks so much, Jack. Best of luck this weekend. Really appreciate you calling in.
Thanks for the invitation, man.
Yeah,
see you guys.
Thanks.
All right, off goes Jack. On to our next caller. Our next guest, which is Tricia from FlyQuest. Tricia, if I can get you to, I'll call you on Skype, but if you're watching or listening, do you see her in any of the Megumi Expert in any of the channels, Mark?
Not right now.
Okay. Well, I'm just updating the overlay, so we'll see if she pops up. I'll send her a message on Skype. Oh, I see her. So... Okay, I see her on Skype, so I'm adding her in via Skype. And I'm going to say, can you mute when you accept on Skype the call? Okay, so we're calling her right now on Skype. Skype now has these like weird live call IDs, so I'm pulling up her name right now. Almost done. Thanks everyone for bearing with us as we are handling this in a little bit of a different way than we would have if we were all live in person at an event.
This is the equivalent of someone who's supposed to be on disappeared from the bar from too many free drinks, and we're trying to find where they went.
Okay, we got Tricia in Discord. So Tricia, as soon as you join Skype, you should be able to see a mute button, and you can just hit that. And then you feel free to talk immediately into Discord. Okay, I see you muted, so now you can talk in Discord. Can we hear you?
Hi.
Hello. Okay, good. Now I just need you to turn on your webcam, and I think we're good on Skype.
I haven't used Skype in like 10 years.
Yes, I know, but it works well for this purpose, I promise. Okay, I think we have your webcam coming in any second, and then we should be good. And thanks everyone. Shout out to the chat right now for their patience as we're doing this. Looks like it flicked on. It looks like it flicked on for just a second. Can you try again on Skype?
Man, good thing it's so dead on Friday nights these days. No one has anything better to do.
Can you see me now?
I can't see you yet, but maybe we will try once more, and if not, I'll just pull up a picture of you and we'll fill it that way. I appreciate you going through all of this for us. I'm fine. I'm preemptively looking for a picture of you.
Okay, I got it. Actually, hold on.
Okay.
1 second.
Okay.
1 second. My bad.
Well, Google Image Search has a lot of the old school StarCraft days. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Someone did a throwback. I was like, whoa, that is a throwback.
Yeah. All right, we've got you on. Very nice home that you have. It's looks like it's a little bit cleaner and more well put together than mine.
Thank you. See, I'm actually decorating a lot of the floral stuff to practice for a greenhouse facility when you tour it later.
Nice. You're already preparing. I can't wait to see it. How has this split been for you? I mean, it feels like the huge breakout split for FlyQuest. Now you're headed into a match tomorrow that could place you in the finals. And on top of that, everybody's praising the brand initiatives. Kelby May, longtime hater, has publicly tweeted his endorsement of FlyQuest success this split.
With Team Snickers finally.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's it been like for you this past split?
So amazing. I'm so grateful. I can't express into words like how happy and just honored that everyone has been so supportive and also critical. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, truly, I know I laugh, but I sincerely mean it. When we used to get mean for Team Snickers, I think it's really important to have self-awareness and know when you're being a noob so you can get better. So really appreciate like the criticism before from Mark, Travis, Kelby, everyone else. To be honest, it's something that I agree with too. Like, I knew that we needed to shake things up. And that's why this year has been a whole like kickoff of a rebrand and just really owning everything we're doing going forward.
I don't know how much you can reveal about this because it's kind of internal businessy, but like you've become even yourself a lot more forward facing, it feels like,
Yeah.
this last split. And so was this just a decision that the org made to have a face to it a little bit more, or was this also because a lot of orgs have like, oh, it's the Jack, it's
Yeah.
the Steve kind of thing. And so I don't know if that was it, or if there was also at like a promotion, or like you got more responsibilities thrown for you, or I don't know what happened, because it all kind of came together at once, where there's now a face to this org, they now have a brand, oh yeah, suddenly their team's killing it. Like, what happened in the off season that we didn't see that led to all of this?
Yeah, really good question. So, just a little bit about my background. I've been in esports for a decade. I started off as a streamer on Twitch TV back when it was Justin TV, my contract says, and that propelled me into getting a lot of gigs for hosting and casting. Actually, I met Travis and IPL. I was hosting and casting for IPL 3, 4, and 5. And that took me to being recruited by Azubu. I don't know if you can hear my dog. She's like actually chasing
No, we
her
can't hear.
tail
You're
right
good.
now. And before then, I was always balancing my PTO time to do like events and hosts and casts, because back then you couldn't really be a pro player. It was really tough financially, or a streamer. You don't have the opportunities now. So I used to do ERP and CRM implementation, and I was doing this balancing like traveling and seeing my mom at the time. She was like in hospital for cancer, and then I lost my dad, and there's just like a lot of personal things. And then I realized one day, like, dude, if I don't do esports full time and just like dive in, I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life. So I went to Azuba in 2014, and then eventually went to Immortals as their head of partnerships. And now I'm in 2018 in January. I went to FlyQuest, and I came as their COO, and I did all of their operations, so all the behind the th- behind the scenes stuff. And I was supposed to be like not forward facing, right? We had Ryan at the time, who was our CEO. And the first thing we did in 2018 was create our company vision, showcase greatness. So actually, all these things that you're seeing was done like my first week of joining FlyQuest. But what we failed on doing was we didn't put the same amount of effort of the foundation that we built internally to showcase that externally. We didn't have somebody telling you about, that we believe greatness already exists within everyone. We want to help them find and showcase it. We didn't have people like voicing it out. We don't have streamers. We don't really have our players being evangelists, and that's on us. And so when I got promoted in January of this year, I was like, dude, it's time to own it. Like, it's time to just share everything we did. We have a vision, and I think that we had a vision before most of all teams. We have a brand, we have a strong brand identity, and the first thing I wanted to do was kick off our Go Green initiative, because nature just means so much to me. I'm also like a Ikebana sensei on the side, which is a flower arrangement. So that's why we have all these nature.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well,
Sorry, that was a long question.
No, that
That
was
a long
really
answer.
good. And it all culminated at the end. Tricia got the promotion, killed it in the off season.
Yes, exactly. Well, I want to Mark, maybe we can grab the next caller, and as we can grab a call for her. And while we're doing that, there's a Jackie Collins in the Twitch chat is very insistent, and I saw this exchange on Twitter. She really wants to know about a crop version of the dark, like a woman's crop top of the dark version of the shirt that you have. Yeah, exactly.
I'm wearing our glitch jersey right now.
Yes.
It's too big because this is the one that we QA'd. This is actually turtles. I will say that we just launched our spring collection, so you can see it had everything to do with our True Quest initiative. So you see our floral design, which is actually like an Ikebana arrangement on our jersey. So I can say yes, a lot more is coming, but a lot more new stuff is coming. I think it's really important for FlyQuest to not just be excited with the split. Like, trust me, I'm really excited and really grateful, but we have a lot of work to do. Like, if you think that we can just chill now, trust us, we are more self-aware than that. Go Green Initiative is for our year-long initiative. Underneath Go Green is our Tree Quest campaign, and starting from summer, we will do another campaign, Blank Quest. I can't share more, but it'll come with more merch. It'll come with more, in-game interaction, just like we have planting trees. And we will be doing Earth Day coming up next week, a big event for that. What else? We're going to be doing Save the Wild Turtles. We actually have so much planned, so I can't wait to share that with everyone.
Well, excited to find out soon. And Saya is here. And Saya, welcome to the show. Noted FlyQuest fan and critic.
Yes.
I believe, was it the very beginning of this year or the end of last one where you called in with support of FlyQuest, but then also sort of trashed some of the branding decisions they'd made previously?
Dude, that was the best ever.
Thank you.
I laughed my ass off. That was the best episode.
Thanks. So first off, I'm sitting here in my FlyQuest hoodie enjoying a nice Coca-Cola with my DMs from Kelby saying congratulations. So yeah, proved him wrong, or more importantly, FlyQuest proved him wrong. But yeah, my take.
Well, and remind us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Burlingame, California.
Gotcha.
Got kicked out of the colleges because of all the Corona stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, my take is FlyQuest will beat EG convincingly and push C9 harder than most think. I think I can even see FlyQuest far, but I could see them actually beating C9 too.
Look how you've gotten so confident ever since you had the correct prediction at the start of this year. Now
you said that FlyQuest is going to finish top 3 or top 4 or something, right?
I said top 3, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, hey.
By the way, does everyone know what Insaya said on the last call?
I can
he called to compliment us and talk about how he was a FlyQuest fan, and then it turned into the ultimate burn where he said that, they're so cringe, they need to do this, and Snickers, it's so hard to be a fan. And I laughed because it's like, we had, our whole Go Green initiative, everything ready, and I was like, now it's time to shine and support him for all the support he's been through.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Saya, thankfully FlyQuest came through for you, but so your take is that we're going to see FlyQuest beat EG tomorrow, and do you think there's a chance they could upset C9?
Yeah, I do. To take it back, to go in order, I have some notes I've written out for the EG series. So, First off, Solo's introduction with the team, he's getting more comfortable. Personally, in my opinion, I think everyone else can see that. As much as I love Viper has had a rough split, and I'm not against the substitution at all for Solo to be in. So Solo being in, I think because of the top lane meta and his own personal pull from what we've seen from the past, I think this is a pretty comfortable fit for him. He's playing the picks like his Gangplank, Aatrox set. I think that's pretty much all he's played so far in the best of 5 series. But he's been a significant upgrade over Viper so far in the postseason. The GGF series and the TSM series, he's getting more comfortable with the team, and Santorin has said on streams and I think the new YouTube video FlyQuest uploaded that to him the players are kind of also getting more comfortable around him as well. I think FlyQuest actually has better drafts than EG, even in their series versus EG. GK mentioned specifically the substitution with Solo actually made the game a lot harder for them. But I think what a lot of people seem to forget, and as a salty FlyQuest fan that had to watch them lose to EG, and because Nicole and EG have been memeing FlyQuest all year, I can be a little salty here. I think FlyQuest 3 game 1 pretty hard with the Baron play.
Mm-hmm.
That game was in their hands and they lost it. I don't think EG won that game. And I know that analogy is kind of stupid and overused, but I truly think that. And now the even more saltier side is I think the pauses in game 4 really messed up FlyQuest. Because of the chrono break, of course, no one has control over this. Things happen, right? Because of the chrono break, they missed a kill on Bang. They had the better scaling comp. Yes, they did get cheesed early game by the set, support, and Omnistone and all that. But FlyQuest is willing to try new things by substituting Solo in later in the series than picking picking some of these out of sight comfort picks. I'm not remembering the champion name, sadly. But I think they really could have won that series, and it kind of made me upset to see people saying, "Oh, EG smashed them, EG destroyed them," and then of course to like, put salt on the wound, seeing EG beam us all over Twitter for about a week or so. I also think Kumo is just really a weak player right now. I think FlyQuest is going to be really good at punishing him. And I want to be fast at this because I know I'm on a time restraint. Ignars, Rakan, dear God, that guy is insane.
I'll give you a couple more seconds.
Yeah, Ignar's insane. And then to the C9 series, I think Keen Lamb said FlyQuest has been doing well in skins for C9. I don't really have many other points besides that. Besides, I can just hope, but I think FlyQuest has been proving people wrong all split, and I honestly wouldn't be too tremendously surprised if
Mark,
they could pull off something at C9.
What is your thoughts? What are your thoughts on all that analysis?
It's a lot to get into. I will say, multiple people on the dive actually favored FlyQuest in the series coming up.
I mean, it feels like this show has been, most people are predicting FlyQuest. So.
Yeah, I don't know what I would be cool to see what the poll is. You should run one right now. See what Twitch chat thinks at least. Who's going to win? But I think the points about Kumo and Solo and Viper is a really interesting one that I think most people are kind of pointing to as the obvious change. I thought they did a good job early in that series for targeting Jizuke as well and killing him and holding him down throughout the mid game or early and mid game. And I think it was actually surprisingly the entire side of EG that stepped up, which is both scary and good for FlyQuest that, they could control the best player, but then they were still losing some of the games. But to the caller's point, and Sia's point about the pause was a little bit of a tilter. I don't think anything was unfair about it because you can't just assume that Bang would have done that if his support could actually flash. But at the same time, there's that psychological component where I'm sure players are thinking, oh, we should have killed him and whatnot. So I think it's going to be a really close series. I could see it going either way, but I am leaning towards FlyQuest. The thing, and I don't know if Tricia can add too much insight on the decisions around Solo and Viper, because for a long period of time, basically as soon as Solo signed to the roster, a lot of analysts were calling, myself included, for Solo, and it was wishy-washy, who was going to start all the way into the start of playoffs. So what was some of the decision-making? And then, how did you guys, assuming you start Solo this weekend, how did you land on him?
So I can't share too much, but I will say we're always thinking about how to improve. We know where our strengths and weaknesses are, and I think topside was something that we were definitely working on, whether it's like TPing or just like winning that lane. I leave it definitely to our GM and our coaches, but it's something I think we're actively aware of. I'm sure every team is thinking about that.
And we should say, by the way, that, or I want to say, you asked me to run that poll, Mark. It's 52% FlyQuest, 48% EG. So it's about neck and neck with FlyQuest having just a few more votes to give them that extra oomph. Tricia, are you as confident as Saya and some of our other guests tonight on the idea that FlyQuest will pull it out tomorrow?
I am very confident. I'm very confident for sure, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. It's a time for a good to win, finally. Every time I'm like, you know what? Good always wins in the end, but the past 3 times have been rough. But I look, I'm so confident. If you looked at FlyQuest and our last game and just how we've recently been playing with Solo, it's a new FlyQuest. Before, when I used to watch you, I would get tilted when we watch Dragon and we're like, hi guys, enjoy that dragon. We're just watching you take dragon, or watching you take this objective, and we're not trading, right? Or we're not contesting, or we're setting up after every team. But now, if you saw, we're the first one setting up for drag, right? We're getting our wards down, we're getting in position, we're the ones making the first TP, we're not TPing late, we're getting herald. So I was really proud of us. I think that this is something we'll continue doing. We're an objective based team now, and that was really different from FlyQuest previously. So I'm really confident.
I'm navigating this as we have now found Captain Flowers. He's in the Twitch chat, and so we're going to figure out how to handle that. But no, I mean, going back to what you were just saying, Tricia, about the good always triumphs over evil. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, for many reasons, obviously, but one of the reasons I'm disappointed that we can't do live finals is because I feel as though the good versus evil branding of FlyQuest and EG, it's almost too good to be true that this would end up,
You have flowers on one side and flames on the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Like it's,
Yeah.
it feels like there's such a huge opportunity for this, and you guys have been kind of pushing it over the course of this. But I mean, is it fun for you that I feel like the team that has the most diametrically opposed branding is
everything is very fun. Like the whole, I don't know if you guys saw our Animal Crossing TSM thing, but that was like me playing my idea or cut. Even my team, when they saw the final one, I had one of them text me, be like, "Hey, is this okay? The content team made this. Like, this is really against brand. We're chopping a tree." I'm like, "Don't worry, that was my idea. That's my approval." So like, we're having fun. I mean, I even this is the donut they gave me. So I tweeted for fun. I was like, "Bleed blue," a throwback to old EG. I promise this wasn't intentional. I actually wanted to eat like a warm donut, but I didn't know it would blow up like this. So I was like, this is too fun. So yes, I have fun doing all those ideas, poking fun at Nicole and everyone else, using their donuts against them. I did a fly win with it. I ate part of the G and I turned the G to a W. So no, it's the best thing. I want to make EG and FlyQuest the top two teams that people look up to and like want to see this rivalry, right? Like I'm born and raised from LA, so I'm a hardcore Lakers fan. I hate the Boston Celtics. I'm sorry to everybody in the chat.
Mark is from that area.
How dare you?
But like, they've made me cry when Lakers have lost against them, and I hope that's a story that we can bring with FlyQuest and EG.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks so much, and Saya. Any final thoughts before we move on to our next caller?
Yeah, Tricia, you've done an amazing job. I know I told this to you last time I was at LCS, but again, you've just done a tremendous job. Everyone at FlyQuest has really stepped up this year, and I'm very happy to still be a fan. And I can say no longer cringe, no more Snickers. And last two shoutouts, make it quick. Viper, people forget this guy's really good. I know he'll bounce back. And shout out to my Clash team because we won. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah,
all right. Bye. And also, I think it is time. We're going to sneak Captain Flyers in before we move on to Nicole. But Tricia, any final thoughts ahead of tomorrow's match or anything you want to say before we move on to our next guest?
Go green, plant trees. If we win the finals, we did super tree quests. We scaled up our tree quest whole initiative. So if we win, we're planting 10,000 trees. So I hope you support us. You care about the environment, care about FlyQuest. So go fly.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is that you either want FlyQuest to win finals or you hate the environment.
Yeah, or you don't care about the planet. That's exactly it. Don't you remember Doublelift when he beat us? He was like, "It's time to crush the Go Green initiative," right?
Yes. Well, it didn't seem to plan out for him very well, I guess, is the way that went down.
So. Mother Nature, there's karma, so we got to be careful, people.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much, Tricia, and best of luck tomorrow. Looking forward to watching the game.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one. All right. And now we say goodbye to Tricia on Skype as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long or is Captain Flowers getting a call, or is he just coming down to hang out?
I think. Well, you have two people in the waiting room, so should we?
Yeah, I assume we're giving him a call. I just wanted to check before.
We'll give him a call. Yeah. Hello, Captain Flowers. We've pulled you into the channel. Hopefully, you can hear us. We're not going to do video because I know you were having Skype issues. So, how are you doing, Captain Flowers?
Travis, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. I'm a piece of crap. I woke up this morning with a massive ear infection. The entire left side of my face feels like I got hit with a truck, and I was laying down, and I laid down for a long time, apparently, and I woke up, and I just said to myself, shit. So
well, you made it.
I'm here. I'm here.
This is a Hotline League live special, because if you recall, 1 year ago in St. Louis, we were trying to get you out. We didn't necessarily have you officially scheduled, but we were hoping you would show up, and you charged into the room in the very last bit of the show. And so I'm glad it would not have been the same thing if you had shown up on time, I feel as though.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, is that we've practically made this a tradition at this point. You asked me to do something. As your friend, I agree. As your friend, I then choose to disappoint you and show up not on time, but then as your friend, I show up on time at the end of the movie.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Glad that you're here. Well, what are your thoughts for tomorrow? I mean, I don't know. hopefully you're feeling okay enough to have a bit of a discussion with us. But what are your predictions for tomorrow's match?
Yeah, my number one thought is I hope this is just a fluke and my head feels better, because it will be. I haven't actually tried yelling or getting loud with my head like this, so I hope that I don't like hemorrhage my brain or something.
I mean, that would be good to avoid.
We'll just wait and see if that happens. I don't know. We'll worry about that bridge when we come to it. But
the predictions, though.
The predictions, yeah, exactly. Immediately tomorrow, my thought is I think both these teams are super evenly matched. So, hey, it's a picture of me. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
And I think that it'll come down to who's better on that. I think either one of them could beat the other. But I think that whichever one beats the other one, coming down to whoever's better on the day, is going to come down to who ints draft less. I think that especially in a matchup where the teams know that they're closely matched and know that it could go either way, sometimes they get scared, man. Sometimes teams, they get scared. They want to play stuff that's too close to what everybody else thinks is good instead of what they know is good for them. No, it's time to not int the draft and play how you would play if this was a regular split game against somebody you know you could beat. Like, that's I want to see draft confidence in this game. I think it's going to come down to a lot of that and not letting stupid picks through. Like that. That's my big yes.
better representation of Captain Flowers.
Yeah, Mark requested I use this picture instead. So hopefully,
I almost use that for the that pictures of me when I'm 20 thing that's going around on.
Yeah, that would have been so good.
I have no pictures of myself from when I was 20 years old, but I was very tempted to use that picture of Skarner because when I was 20 would have been 2010. And Skarner came out in 2012, I think, but I was going to lie and pretend like he came out in 2010 and just say that was me.
Yeah.
So
Mark, I think your webcam turned off and on. But
he
either way,
sacrificed himself to summon the Skarner.
He did. Mark, do you want to go grab the? Oh, it looks like okay. I think I can fix it now. Mark, do you want to go grab our caller? We'll grab a caller for Flowers really quickly.
Yeah. Let me get the guy.
Okay. And also to whether I didn't see whether it was Jack or Cloud9. It was one of the two accounts. Okay, Cloud9. They just asked again. Am I doing the final? Yes, I'll be doing the first and hopefully only ever cast from home LCS final on Sunday. So I'll be there. I will do my best to make it as hype as absolutely possible. We don't got an arena. We don't have tens of thousands of fans. It's going to be different, but I will do my god dang best to make it feel like finals for y'all.
You should to make yourself hype. You should invite. Oh, never mind. That's breaking social distancing.
What were you going to tell me to do, Mark?
I was going to say invite people into your living room to like cheer, so you could hear like the background noise.
That's not loud, Mark.
Better idea.
That's sort of the opposite of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I thought more about it. Better idea. You should go on YouTube and get like an hour-long proud sound and just pump that into your ear.
All right, that could work.
Well, we have our caller here, Doug. Welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Spokane, Washington.
Spokane, Washington. What do you want to talk about on the show?
So my take is Team Liquid is really losing out from a branding perspective from trading.
Back to the double of ticks. Yeah, Flowers, I don't know how long you've been sleeping, but there was some news that came out.
I woke up 14 minutes ago.
Okay.
As soon as I woke up, I jumped on my computer and ran and grabbed my microphone and came in here.
Well, did you
know
I don't
that
know
some idiot started some rumors about Doublelift getting traded?
Yeah. Were you awake about 24 hours ago?
I was going to make a really sarcastic comment. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the high road. I am
so far down the low road, dude.
Dude, I'm going to exactly. We have to have a diverse cast of characters here. Otherwise, the movie gets boring if all the characters behave the same. So I'm going to be the moral high road here. Say, yes, I have heard about this.
Anywho, so you, Doug, do you want to expand upon your opinion?
Oh yeah, sure. So basically, how I see Team Liquid trading Doublelift, not necessarily from a strategic perspective. regardless of how well they'll do next split or over the couple years, I personally have followed Doublelift. I've been watching League since season 2 at least. Hated CLG. I was a big TSM fan, and then Doublelift joined TSM, and I like TSM. Doublelift started growing on me, and then they loaned him to TL or Curse at the time. He saved them from being relegated, and then he went back to TSM, and then he went to TL, and they started winning. So for me, I see Doublelift as the soul and the personality of the team. I think if they lose, if they trade Doublelift, they're going to lose a big branding opportunity. I wouldn't necessarily buy Team Liquid jerseys, but whatever team he goes to, I think they're going to see an uptick in interest. So I think it's a mistake on their end, personally.
Flowers, do you think that TL will lose a lot of fans if they lose Doublelift?
I 100% agree that Doublelift is the biggest player brand in the LCS, and I don't think it's close. I think that the only person that you could put in the same ballpark is Bjergsen, or maybe Sneaky if Sneaky comes back at some point. But Doublelift is not just one of the best players that we've ever had in the history of the LCS. He is one of the longest standing players. Like, if you look at the popularity of League of Legends, the popularity of these players and the teams, a lot of the ones that are super popular have been that way for you. Like, if you look at the big three, if you look at Doublelift and Sneaky and Bjergsen, they've all been popular for a very long time because they were part of that like OG LCS, like as this thing was catching fire, as this thing was building up, they had a bunch of fans behind them for different reasons. And then they managed to create this personal brand that's very big compared to a lot of the guys that have just shown up in recent times. And I think that more so than just like bleeding out tons of fans, because one advantage Team Liquid has, and unfortunately it's hit a little bit of a stumbling point this split, is that they're good. It is much easier to jump ship because somebody you liked left on a shitty team than it is for a good team. If your team is good, you will always have bandwagon fans, and you will always have fans that are loyal to you just because you're good. So I think that it won't be as severe as it would be if Team Liquid was like, still a relegation tier team. They're not. They had a bad split, but let's not forget the fact that they won 4 splits back to back beforehand. So Team Liquid won't take as big of a hit as some other teams would, but losing Doublelift still absolutely going to hurt. 100% agree with Doug there. And I think that it is a very huge opportunity. Like, a lot of people I saw talking in Reddit threads and stuff about, will Doublelift go back to TSM? And going to TSM, that helps. But remember that TSM is also the biggest team brand in League of Legends, period. Like, which other team doesn't go to Worlds and or gets knocked out in groups and has fans chant their name in semifinals in a game from teams from 2 different regions? There ain't one. I'll just answer it for you. China. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about like in the English speaking world. I should have clarified that. In the English speaking world of League of Legends, there is no more popular team than TSM.
Yeah.
So if he goes back there, it won't be as big of a thing for bringing a ton of fans proportionally to what they already have. But to any other team, well, Cloud9 is also super popular now too. If he goes to anybody that's not TSM or Cloud9, it would be a huge influx of fans.
I think the way that I would describe it is basically if Doublelift has a million number of fans, I am one of them. If Doublelift has 10 fans, I am one of them. If Doublelift has no fans, that means I am no more on Earth. If rolled against Doublelift, I'm against them. I was hoping for a laugh, Mark. Anywho.
I acknowledge that you were memeing. I think the one thing, like everything Captain Flower said is 100% accurate. The one thing that I think has to be kind of mentioned here is like, we're kind of talking about this, like TL's deciding to do this, like there's an alternative, and we don't really know that's the case. Like, Doublelift might fucking hate TL right now, or maybe Team Liquid they cannot work with Doublelift. So you either remove your coaching staff completely in your whole organization, or remove Doublelift. Who knows? And so that's why, kind of counter Doug's point. You're saying, oh, they're going to lose so many fans, mistake, yada yada yada. Well, sucking doesn't get you many fans, and there's more important things, like if you can win summer without Doublelift, or planning for the future, because it sounds like Doublelift's gone anyways after summer, if he's willing to get traded now. So like, if the milk has spoiled, there's no point keeping the carton or some shit. Like there's some analogy there that I'm too dumb to figure out, but like it might not be a choice for Team Liquid to say, oh, Doublelift's the problem, get rid of him, or anything.
Plus, we've also got to consider the salty fans at this point in time, because all these damn Twitter avatars with anime profile pictures and 6 followers, those
are my dudes right there,
that spam my shit with spring doesn't matter, who cares, LolXD.
Those are no longer my dudes.
Yeah, those people, they now have to shut the hell up in summer, because guess what? By their own anime avatar logic, it's time for the part that really matters a lot. So they can't just be forgiving if things go bad in summer. All those people whose opinions I don't agree with are going to have to understand the fact that, okay, this is when it matters. So, and Doublelift is a player that you want on your team when it matters. As much as people want to meme the if you're chasing greatness, as much as people are being like, OMG, what happened to Team Liquid? Whatever. At the end of the day, the dude is still a fantastic player and one of the best we've seen in any role in our region for the last 10 years.
I mean,
Teams
I think what's
get better if he's on them.
What's very true is it's going to be impossible if he ends up on a different team to look back and be like, yeah, Spring Split didn't matter. Because it definitely mattered.
yeah.
Like there were some big things that happened in Spring Split that personally affected him. That shit mattered.
Anybody saying Spring Split doesn't matter is some like 17-year-old armchair analyst, like flunking all his courses with a C- saying, I don't care, I'm going to be a League of Legends analyst, don't sweat it. And just trying to pretend like they know everything about the game, when in reality, if you look at it from a larger point of view and considering everything, you have to be like, okay, I know that it doesn't have the same impact it did before with championship points and whatever. But if you're a player or an organization who ever says spring doesn't matter, you fucked up. No one wants to just play to be shit. No one wants to play and then just say, we don't care. Let the dice fall where they may. Results shall be results. That's not how you build a foundation. That's not how you build organizational success and things moving forward. Like, I don't know. These people confuse me. But they're anime avatars, so I don't understand.
There's 17-year-olds, there's anime people, and then there's Doublelift who are saying.
Doug, any final thoughts before we move on to our final caller?
Thanks for having me on. Shout out to Alienware. Shout out to my duo queue partner, Mami69. Thanks.
What? I played against a guy the other day in solo queue named Big Daddy Uwu. And he was actually a really good player. I was like, hey, Irelia, just wanted to let you know, you guys, you played really well, even though your name's an abomination.
Flowers, I really appreciated you saying that. It made me feel really good about my Smurf account. I thought that was super cool of you.
Oh, shit. All right.
Doug, thanks so much for the call.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, Flowers, I think it's goodbye for you, too. Anything you want to say ahead of finals weekend this weekend?
All right, Travis, thank you so much for having me on. Again, I apologize for being late. At this point, I'm just going to blame it on tradition and say that it's a deeply rooted part of our friendship that I am happy to honor every single time you ask me to be on this show.
Yeah,
Twitch
of course.
chat, thank you all for having me. Everybody out there, I hope you enjoy the games tomorrow. I think tomorrow's series is going to be a real close one. I'm expecting 5 games. I think that Sunday either one of them had better step up, because Cloud9 is looking fierce right now. I will not be on the games tomorrow. I will be on the game Sunday, provided my ear hasn't exploded by then. And thank you all so much for continuing to watch with us, continue to be huge fans, and continue to support this thing during all this Corona stuff that everybody is trying to get up and running. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. I'll see you next time. Travis, have a great time with the rest of the show. Peace.
See ya. All right. Our last caller is the CEO of Evil Geniuses. I'm hoping she can join. Oh, there she is. Hello, Nicole. I'm going to call you on Skype. Just mute as soon as I call you, okay? Nicole? I see you in Discord. Are you here, Nicole? Nicole? All right, I'm going to video call her and see
Good luck.
if she answers. Oh. I lost you. Mark, let me add you to this call too.
What? You lost me.
Yeah, I accidentally called Nicole instead of you.
So what should I do? Because I still see us on just Skype.
I'm adding you back. Just mute when you join. You should have a new call on Skype. Nicole, can you hear me on Discord? You accepted the Skype call. Oh, I hear her. She's Nicole, talk into your microphone. I don't think she can hear me. Oh, maybe Skype lowered everything. Okay.
I just assume this is how your relationship normally is with her, just ignoring you.
Yeah, she doesn't really acknowledge my presence that much, and I usually try to say stuff, and then she just kind of disregards me, I guess is the way I would put it. Oh, we lost her on Skype. We're almost done, everybody. Hey, we're gonna shout out some folks who sent some subs, and let's see if we can get some more subs in the chat right now. We're at 1224 subs. Let's climb before we get into this final thing. ZBake05, Andrew Rules Dude, Ghost Han, Justin C. Scott 16, Sport CTC, Brendan Sue 2000, Giuseppe's, I believe is Pixelated, Space Pope 20K, Boba Cola with the 32 months. Jack sent a prime, 10 months from him. Demonde, not Demonte, but Demonde. Mikey Steves. Oh, there's Nicole. I'm adding her in. We've got a train going, everybody. A hype train in the chat. Ovly May gifted 10 subs. I will acknowledge that as an acceptance for her trying to steal the name of my Valorant show on Twitter today. And, okay, so we've got Nicole's camera on. Nicole, have you muted your Discord or have you muted your Skype? Okay. Still can't hear you. Oh, we need to pull her back in.
Move me.
Hello. Hi.
It's working.
Yay.
We did it. I see that hype train going in Twitch chat, everybody. Welcome to the show, Nicole. It's great to talk to you. It feels like it's been so long. How's your evening been?
Good, thanks. I've never seen this show before. How does it work?
You're not missing
I'm
much.
glad. What's that? What'd you say, Mark?
Says she's not missing much.
Okay, yes. Basically, we just have callers call in, and they say stuff, and then I try to like simp out for the Twitch chat to get subs, and Mark gets annoyed. He shows his cat. That's pretty much it.
I had a great cat tonight.
So Nicole, how confident are you? Because it feels like a lot of the guests and the callers tonight had FlyQuest in the lead for tomorrow, and there's a 52 to 48% poll in favor of FlyQuest in the Twitch chat. So what are you thinking about tomorrow's match?
I don't know. I'm a numbers woman, and we haven't lost to FlyQuest yet. So I'm just saying it's looking pretty good for us.
Is that true, Mark? Do you feel like the odds are in favor? You said FlyQuest could take it, but if they've yet to beat EG, then what does that mean?
It means Viper played most of those games.
Okay, so you think
I don't know why that was such a roast on Viper. I don't know where.
Jeez, Mark.
My point was
We beat Solo as well.
Times have changed, yeah, but it was a 1-1 versus Solo. So I think it's going to be a close series. You know, like you said, it was 48 to 52, whatever the poll ended up being. You also had a caller coming in and said the EG was going to beat C9, so it's not like there's any shortage of believers for EG. I'm just not one of them.
Well, Mark, do you want to grab our caller?
Sure.
Okay, off we go. How's your evening been, Nicole?
It's been good. Can't complain. How about yours?
It's been great.
This is nice. We should talk more.
Yeah, we should. That would be great. Sometime we'll hang out. Dex Factor 777 is here. Dex Factor, where are you calling from?
Hutchinson, Kansas.
Hutchinson, Kansas. What do you want to talk about on the show?
That Evil Geniuses will be a top team over the next couple of years because of their performance this split.
Yes.
A top team. So you just
Best
from this
caller.
performance? Well, maybe you could expand on that. So you've seen they're in the top 3 right now. Based on tomorrow, they could make it to finals. What makes you feel as though they can do it over the next couple of years?
I'm going to preface this by saying normally I'm a C9 caller, so to do something to pull me off a C9 is pretty impressive. It just they struggled for the first part of the split, and their improvement has been steadily increased over the whole to end up second, to look like the best team next to Cloud9, and still able to take a game off of Cloud9 in their the winners finals to get to grand finals was very impressive. The players seem to be gelling very well, and it seems the players are bought in, kind of like in C9. The management's doing well, and everything, and this being their first split. That's the impressive thing to me. And I know 100 Thieves did it before where it was their first split, but to me this feels completely different.
Mark, what's your take?
What do you mean?
I mean, I want to throw to Nicole after, but I'm curious if you think that this can, if this is, gonna maintain.
I don't know. It's really, really hard to predict these things. Especially in the current climate. I don't want to read too far into Bang's tweets or anything, but he looks sad. Like if he just gets really sad about the current situation in the world, maybe they lose their AD carry and then, they got to go find a new one. Anything can happen. And the only team that we've seen, how many years did the caller say? Did he specify exactly how long they're going to stay?
How many? Yeah, caller, you said a couple of years, right? So what, 2?
Yeah, 2 or so at least.
Okay, two I can probably buy. It's hard to say just because everyone has their ups and downs. But to the caller's point, I think the org actually did a really good job in their first split in terms of making big moves to get people excited, picking up all the C9 guys and stuff. I think we talked a little bit about their coaching staff a couple times on this show. We had Artemis on as well last week, was it? And they're clearly smart guys, so that it wasn't just like they signed a bunch of big name players, get the former MVP, boom. There was depth to their strategy as well. They have a branding approach, so I definitely think they'll be one of the new mainstays in the LCS. I feel much better about them than I do some of the other orgs, and I'm not left scratching my head even when at the start of the season where some people didn't predict DG that highly. I put them 4th, which is not as high as they got, but at least it was, I had faith that they were going to figure things out. So I ultimately do think that they will be one of the top teams in the league for a little while, and definitely one of the most fun to follow.
Nicole, maybe you can talk. One, do you think that the team is going to continue to be a top team for the next couple of years? And maybe more broadly, you can speak to the efforts that went into getting this organization to where it was on your end in the past, 3 or 4 months, part of the split.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks, caller. I appreciate when people appreciate how quickly EG not only had to pull together a roster, but hire all the coaching and ops staff, get an LA presence, and then get a business playbook for League of Legends. We acquired, the old Echo Fox slot and had to really quickly build an LCS operation. And we are really pleased with the results. The guys are hungry for winning. So, anything but first place is probably not a success for them, but I'm really happy with what we've done so far. I think considering we were learning as we go and really had an eyes wide open approach myself, especially being new to esports, let alone new to League of Legends, it was important for me to really spend time with the players, with all the staff to understand pros, cons, what are we doing well, what are we doing badly to be successful. So now that we have proven at least the model for this split. I am super excited to see where it continues to take us as we keep growing.
Yep. Well, Dex Factor, do you have any follow-up thoughts on that?
Just also with them being a bigger esports team than just League of Legends, them also having Counter-Strike and them also having Dota, and they're well spread out. They can pull on a lot of experience like the Cloud9s and the other big teams. So they're not just like, oh, hey, we're this new team that doesn't have any experience and we're just going headstrong into it. They have proven track history with their teams doing well in other esports that they can draw on that. And that's the other reason that I really do think that they're going to be a really good competitor for, like I said, the next couple of years.
Yeah. Mark, I don't know if you're too distracted by your cat, but I'm curious if you have any follow-up questions for Nicole.
I think we hit on a fair amount of them. This is let's not get into that. I was gonna say, how much do you think this is something people often talk about, history and esports and all that, but from my understanding, it was a fairly large turnover. Were you guys able to draw very much from these other esports divisions and teams that you guys had, or was learning League of Legends like kind of jumping straight in and just only focusing on that and not really trying to pull influences from others?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that you asked, Mark, because a name that doesn't get floated very often at EG, but definitely should take a lot of credit is Phil Rom. He's our chief gaming officer. He's an OG EG, used to be one of our Dota managers and worked our way up to a C-level position, running the org for a bit before there was a CEO, actually. And he sets because we have 7 total titles, he sets all of our gaming strategy. Like, what do we enter? Why do we enter? What do we leave? And why do we leave? As well as what is the ethos and metrics around what players we look for from a brand perspective, because we have a very active organizational brand forward approach that we take into consideration also in building rosters beyond just mechanical skill. And while I know I've been kind of a face of League of Legends, he's a behind the scenes driver and really the brains behind it. So that knowledge, I know unsavory to talk about, but he comes from like the Dota world where there are a lot of elements that some could say are kind of similar that trickle over.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Dex Factor, we might be done with your call, but is there anything else that you would like to say before we start to wrap up the show?
Thanks for having me on. Good luck tomorrow, and excited to see what happens tomorrow and in the grand finals.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dex. All right. Well, Nicole, a couple other questions. So you are pretty confident against FlyQuest tomorrow. Assuming that you end up beating them, do you feel as though your team has a chance against Cloud9, especially given how dominant they've been?
We are only one of 2 teams to win a game against Cloud9. So I feel like we can keep that momentum going. I know a lot of people point at our early, really rough start where like it was clear the team had to adjust and gel. And Colin Kumo especially, he's a new entrant to the LCS space, and we've been learning. You see those learnings, you see those developments week over week, and I guess it's a bonus that a lot of our players know Cloud9 and know how they work. So we're ready to put up a fight.
What have you guys offered any like huge? Well, maybe it's a little premature because you have to beat FlyQuest first. But assuming you do, is there any like carrot on the end of the stick that you're throwing on top of what would normally be a pretty big moment? Is there like, if you guys beat C9, we'll do, I don't know,
everybody gets donuts.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to plan one of these right now because the whole world's kind of shut down. So like we'll go to Disneyland or Disney World or whatever doesn't work.
I know it's a little tough. We like try to send, fun things like food or like remote packages of stuff. But it's actually pretty funny. Bang had asked me earlier this split if we won, he found a space nearby that he wanted me to buy for the LCS facility. And so I think I have to be held to that. So we'll see. I'd like to not spend more money right now, but hey, if the guys win whatever the fuck they want, sure, let's do it.
You buy them a new headquarters. I want a loft in downtown LA. I want.
It's the weirdest place too. It's like this old grain factory in Santa Monica, and he's like, "This looks evil. We should buy it." I'm like,
"It's like a warehouse.
Go for it. Let's do it."
I'm a little concerned about what that thing is that's on your couch next to you.
Oh, that's right. We can also cat cam it.
Oh, did you get a cat or did you always have one?
I've always had a cat.
She got a cat just for the show.
I didn't mean for the show. I meant because quarantine get stir crazy and they get animals.
We can't see the cat very much.
Oh, I'm here.
Wait, this is a little.
I think that cat's much bigger than yours, Mark.
Dude, that's about the size of my big. It looks a little bit bigger than my big cat.
He's 15 pounds?
I think mine's like 12 or 13. My orange cat, I don't know what's wrong with him, dude, but he's like long and like full-size cat, but his head is like a kitten. I think his head has just stopped growing. So it's like this little thing, but his body is... He's a weird dude. How come Nicole can have a cat, but Kobe can't?
So I'm trying to convince Travis through my cat, but unfortunately, my cat loves everyone but Travis, so it hasn't been a very good experience.
Yeah, but that's Travis's fault. He's this curmudgeon who's the only person against this like campaign.
Yes.
My cats don't like Travis either.
Also, she had that cat before we entered into
oh my god, he's so
a
cute.
thing, so it's a little different. Don't react to the cat. So it's a little different, I feel like, than Kobe's situation where he and I are living together.
And you've been friends for a super long time, and like it's not that big of an ask. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a pretty big ask.
It's not.
I visited
I'm
Nicole
so
a while
he has
back.
an EG jersey, but as soon as I take it out of his little like toy box, he runs and hides. So I couldn't get him in the jersey for Hotline League.
I am surprised that he just chills like that.
He'll get bored in a second, just like smack me in the face, run away for sure. So, here you go, Twitch chat.
Mark, do you have any other official questions for Nicole? I feel like I can't ask her too many.
Yeah, we can talk about
questions.
cats forever. So you better close me out.
All right. Well, Nicole, anything that you want to say, you can stick around for the end of the show, but is there anything you want to say to any of the fans ahead of EG's match against FlyQuest tomorrow?
Yeah. New fans, thanks. We are acutely aware of where we started and where we ended up, and we've been so happy to have so many people join us living evil along the way, and just be pumped for more to come. I think we have some exciting, well, I don't think, we do have some exciting things in the pipeline for the start of summer split with, I've heard, fan feedback has not fallen on deaf ears in regards to jerseys and merch and our brand. So we're planning to double down and do some more cool initiatives. So,
well, thank you so much, Nicole. How about you, Mark? Any shout outs, any plugs you want to make?
Not too much. I mean, gotta watch obviously semifinals and finals tomorrow and Sunday. I'll be working the AD for those, and then after that, I'll lose my mind. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, Mark did message me the other day, and he's like, "What are you planning on doing after finals in quarantine?" And I was like, "I think I'll probably stay home and I will play Valorant and maybe stream some and do some content." And he's like, sounds boring. I'm like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, I have no idea.
Yeah, like literally anyone. Someone give me purpose.
Yes. Well, either way, everyone, that is the show. Thank you so much to all of our guests for coming on. Thank you, Nicole, for coming on my show because we weren't sure if this was a good idea. And thanks, Mark, for co-hosting it.
Hey, let me tell you, thank you, Travis, for doing all the work because I didn't do anything for this, and that's how I like it.
That is true. Everyone,
I'll send my invoice soon.
Yeah, thank you. I've been begging Mark to let me pay him for 2 weeks. I need an invoice from him, and he won't send it. Alienwarearena.com/Travis. Please go there right now and claim your Hextech chest. You get a free one. If you live in the US, they'll just give you one. Thanks so much to Alienware for sponsoring us, and thanks everyone for sticking around with us as we do our the best we can for a hype mega finals Hotline League edition 2020. This has been the episode. Thanks everyone for watching.